past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, that's all. Oh, yeah. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, in freedom.
I have nothing new to say.
People are hungry.
Let them die. It's their fault. Yeah, I'm supporting Tinubu 100%.
You're supporting Tinubu?
100% to deal with Nigerians.
Jeez.
People like you. So that when next election comes, I will now see whether when people bring money, you will vote for them or you will do your conscience.
$1,911,844,833 naira and 46. I'll take that again. 1,911,844,000,000. 1 trillion. This money is too much for me. 1 trillion. I hope that is not on the record. 1 trillion 911 billion 840.
It's not an easy journey because it's a job of two people. You know, it was easier for me with my daughter, but not completely easy with my son because the
Unbreakable. What do you understand by a virtuous woman?
Since they saw for France, the way some of our brothers still they collect.
All right, it's good to see you again. Welcome from that break. We have had a very useful, very wonderful, very enlightening, very educative lecture, history, rendezvous by our aerodynamic Prof, Professor Nimi Wariboko. Wariboko. I think I like his name, especially the last part. It sounds very foreign. Um, but he was very good. He was able to enlighten us, educate us, entertain us, and above all, we have something to take away. Numerous books that are written for anybody who is interested in furthering in that direction he talked about today. He has enough material in the market. You can source his book all from the web, from Amazon, from all the retail outlets around the universe. You can actually be able to get his books from any of those places. So you are welcome once again. But my job is already being cut out for me this evening, and that is just to take your reactions from what he has said. And I'll probably just be stopping on that. I will not want to go into go beyond that point, because he has extensively discussed what we are going to talk about. And so my own part is going to just be taking reactions from you guys. And I welcome Mr. Tony. Tony, you are welcome. It's good to always see you. You come with a wealth of understanding and knowledge, and we hope to gain from that today. I also invite to the stage Mr. AY. AY is a good friend of mine, even though we don't agree all the time, but I still like him, and he comes also with an understanding.
You see it here, bro.
Okay, so we have Mr. Richard. Mr. Richard also comes there, a lot of information and understanding of the discussions and the political space in Nigeria. I know that all of us are going to gain from these people. And as we also invite more people from, who are out there to come in and join us in the discussion. Mr. Tony, I'll come to you right off. What will be your total, take from what the Prof has discussed this evening? What will be your take?
Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, everyone who is on the platform. Depending on where you are, is evening here. I was listening on the background. I didn't just want to come on, but I listened from when he was talking about the church and the impact of the church and the way we see church these days, with respect to some of the things that the church does, to his Biafran experience and his general view concerning Nigeria and the direction he thinks that the country should go. His Civil War experience as a youth, as a kid, 6 years old, and so on. And that touched me because that area too, I shared some similar experiences with him in terms of what happened, what I experienced in my area. I was about the same age, just maybe 1 or 2 years older than him at the time. I share generally his view in summation of the outlook, what he thinks Nigeria should be, his aversion to ethnic politics, religious, ethnicity, religious provincialism. And generally, I agree too with him that, one of the questions that was asked when someone talked about this Wazobia contraption, which I think it's Nigeria should do away with, because it seems to suggest that there are 3 major ethnic groups in Nigeria. All the other ones are inconsequential. But if you take a census or demography of all the ethnic groups put together, if you're able to put all of them together, majorly south, northeast, middle belt, if you put them together, where you have diversities of ethnicities, they are more than the combination of those three major. If you're talking about Hausa, purely Hausa, not if you put all the minorities together as one block, vis-a-vis the three ethnic groups that we're talking about, you'll see that I think that there are more in terms of population than all this reference to Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. I think we must outlive that view. Just using the Igbo, the Hausa, and the Yoruba as a macrocosm of the entire country. I think that is wrong. At this age, everybody, is a Nigerian, and we must expunge that Wazobia construction from our historicity. And I think that is part of what I saw from what the professor was saying. Finally, I also think that yes, I agree with him that there's hope if we put our eyes together and look at Nigeria. The Civil War set us back, the first coup set us back, the counter coup set us back, and then the critical question that he asked, which I see, if you look at, would you say that we have learned anything from the Civil War? Would we have been better if we didn't have the Civil War? If the situation that led to the Civil War didn't occur, would Nigeria have moved on forward better than we are? So those are questions and issues that he raised that I think is critical, in our discussion.
Okay, thank you. And then I think while you're talking, I wrote something down. Yeah, the impact. I want to take you a bit. So let's stagger it a bit, because if we take it, he discussed a lot some stuff. That very impactful things that we can all break down. And I want to start from the church. He talked about the church and what it has been able to do to Nigerian society. What will be your assessment of Nigerian church vis-a-vis the society? If you take away the church, will Nigerian society have been better than it is today?
Well, first of all, let me say I am a Christian, so I'll probably have a biased view being a Christian. But I'll try to resist the temptation of not pandering to that side which I belong. The church, if you look at the church, whether Orthodoxy or Pentecostal, I think they have been good partners generally in helping to advance the cause of the nation. I think the tendency right now is to look at one or two institutions, one or two would I say organizations or religious organizations that appear to be purveying things that actually not scriptural, are actually not Christian, quote unquote, and people look at that and use that as a basis to stereotype the church. I think that the church has played very, very critical roles. Schools. I went to a Catholic school. There was time where the schools that were doing very well in Nigeria were mission schools. Since we are restricting it to Christian, there was a time where the best schools in my area, the best schools were Christian. You go to the east, Christian schools, DMGS, CKC, SPC in Asaba, SPC in Agalope, and so on and so forth. There were very few government schools, and they trained quite a lot of people that have become leaders in various endeavors. The hospitals, in terms of even intervening in critical areas and aspects of life, the church has played a very key role, apart from their spiritual calling, which is to redirect and ensure that people keep to values that enhance society. So the church has played very, very critical. Up to now, they're still doing it, just that they're silent. Churches don't go. If you take, for instance, the Catholic Church, for instance, quite a lot, and they're still doing quite a lot. Even during the Civil War, we saw the role that the church played in trying to intervene and provide succor and all those things for people who were badly hit, particularly in the East and so on. Christian Council of Nigeria, Caritas, and so on and so forth. So they play critical role, and they're still playing. And then also, we should look at some key actors. They played a very in checkmating government, speaking out, criticizing government boldly, and telling them that what they're doing is wrong, and so on and so forth. So we have all that. They have also, a couple of them have also intervened in politics. We've had some ministers here and there, where that's on an individual basis,
Okay.
you know, as governors and so on. So I think on the whole, if you break them down specifically, you know, I'm just speaking generally, but if you break them down generally, I think if you take out the church, then you will be taking out those critical areas where the church has intervened. And if you remove them, I think Nigeria will be less than what, you know, it is today, or, you know.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll come to you, AY. You asked a very critical question, of course, and the the Nigerian war and all that. Do you think that if that war had not happened, we'll have a more united Nigeria? Because the war wasn't the only thing that brought division in Nigeria. Though the Prof said there was the first secession, which was the Dakaboro-led one. But before the Dakaboro-led one, the North has been on the Araba. The Araba movement had also occurred before that one. So would you say that indeed the Civil War was what brought disunity in Nigeria, or that this co-joint ceramic twins, or whatever twins you may call them, has already been started decaying before the time that before the eventually the 1966 coup was what brought about the total falling apart of things? What would be your assertion, sir?
Yeah, good evening, everyone from here. I think if you from the get go, there was no trust in Nigeria. Day one, there was lack of trust. I think what the coup and the war, it actually just kind of like blow up everything. So it's like, I don't trust you. I'm like, oh, Mr. Tony, I don't trust you. Now I don't trust you. You're gonna steal my thing. Now you go in there and you pick up something from my room. Then I'm like, yeah, I said it before. That's exactly what happened. But it's sad. Like when I listen to the guest, there were a couple of things I picked from his discussion, and Mr. Tony actually talk more about one of it, which is the kind of like unity of Nigeria. We don't respect ourselves enough, especially the three major tribes: Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. They think nobody else is in Nigeria. Even when I'm listening to the discussion today, it's a problem. You have to respect your neighbor. The reason why I asked that question, I asked when I said,
okay,
is
anyway,
the
hold
land.
on. Someone's mic is on. It's echoing. So if your mic is on and not speaking, please can you put it off? Or if you have two devices, put short one off. Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I asked that question, right?
No, it's still echoing. Someone's
Is
mic.
it
Someone's
from
using
who?
double system.
Is it from me?
Check.
Is it still there?
Yeah, the feedback is coming.
Is it good now or no?
Mr. Richard, your phone is on. Please remove
I
the
think they are all
landslide.
muted.
If you can turn it, because we're seeing you up, this way. Yeah, that's more. Okay, thank you.
Oh,
All right. So
okay, let's see if is
I
it
still
better
have
now?
come on, what's happening today? It's
KJ.
echoing.
Oh yeah, is it from you, KJ? Is it better now or no?
Go ahead, let me see.
Okay, so like the way I was saying it, right? So we have to learn to respect ourselves. We are not respecting ourselves. So the reason why I asked that question, I've heard where people will postulate that oh, there is nothing like South South. The South South line is more like belongs to the Igbos. To me, it's problematic. They are not like when you are discussing Biafra, you got to understand the components of Biafra. You got to make people feel they belong to this union. But instead, what you hear is like master-slave relationship. And you are dealing with people that are in population, they are almost equivalent, or if not more, than the Igbo part of Biafra. So to me, it's a problem. The trust will not be there. The trust will not be there. That is why
Okay,
not only
AY, you may need to go. You may need to let's see if you're going to work the same with another person. If you put off your,
okay.
can you please shut your mic? Yeah, it's still echoing. I don't know what's happening. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, AJ, we can hear you loud and clear. So you
Okay,
stop
go ahead,
echoing.
AY. Go ahead, AY.
Why is only you that is experiencing that?
Go ahead.
So across the country, that is what you see. Even in the north, for example, we have minority tribes in the north. A lot of it, a lot. But what you see, they never respect these people. It's more like you shut up. Who are you? It's a problem. I think for us to have a direction as people, I mean Nigeria, we have to kind of like tone down our voice about this tribal crisis. It's a problem because we are not heading anywhere. So,
Okay,
yeah.
Who is turning up the tribal thing? And I'm trying to be unbiased here. There's during the last election, it was a particular tribe or told that if you do this, do this. So who is turning up the tribal card?
So okay, let me break it down for you. It is a problem all over the country. The three major tribes, they are the biggest headache as regard to this. I'm gonna be very plain to you. I'll give you an example. When Buhari was in power, you're gonna say something. Oh, the president is doing this, not doing this right. You see people from the north, they are attacking you. Oh, why are you saying that? Because he's from the north. That's you people hate him. Now Tinubu is in power. When you say something that Tinubu is not doing right, you see some Yoruba people attacking you. To me, like, how do you build a country with this kind of mentality? So you say something about Tinubu, the person is see, oh, because it's not Yoruba, that's why he's bashing, it's Yoruba president. Like, it's problematic, you know? We need somebody that we see Nigeria as his own constituency. If we not get to that, it's going to be a problem. Look at it. Sorry, let me finish this. What the guest said. Why don't we have a port in rivers, for example? You know, if you have a port in rivers, it will serve people from the south, from the southeast, or have a port somewhere. Like, because people that the leaders, the so-called leaders, they are not looking at this problem from it's gonna benefit all of us. If you don't do the right thing, all of us are suffering it. It's not only one person, it's not only one region. Everybody is suffering it. So you gotta look at this. Oh, this is gonna work in the southeast. Like somebody was mentioning the Abia industrial something like this Aba made when we were much younger. You hear about my why don't you put more money there, do more investment there, and make sure we have an industrial hub in that axis? You're not doing it. The north, we have agriculture. We're not doing it. Sometimes it's just crazy, man. But I don't know. Hopefully, we'll get it at some point.
Thank you. Well, we'll come back to this. Let's just peruse through the first assertion he made, which is that the church has become a business. And I'm talking about the church, which is my constituents, the other constituents. Now, is it that I'm coming to you, Mr. Richard, and looking at the church environment, the environment that have been created by the church in Nigeria is that we are taking away the reality of the situation of the people. So making them making them to not have the ability to face squarely what is facing them. That is, we are creating an alternative reality different from what is available on the ground. Or is it that the church has totally lost it, and so now we're just cruising on the poor people's resources? What is your view on that which is said concerning the church?
Good evening, all. KJ, thank you very much. Actually, I logged in after he discussed about the church, but now you have given me at least what he said about the church. Here where I live in Germany, you have churches that are more than 700 years old. Where I live here, the church I go was 750 years. Last 5 years, we celebrated that church 750 years. A little church. If you go to all parts of Europe, you see all those churches very old. And the church is not meddling in politics. There is state separation from religion. Because there was a religious war here too in Europe when the church was meddling into politics. The war lasted for many years. It was the Peace of Westphalia. My state is Westphalia. I live in Westphalia, Germany. It was in Münster, Westphalia, that they stopped, church, meddling into politics. They separated religion from the state. And since then, there's been peace, at least relatively peace in Europe. So as long as in Africa, or let's talk about Nigeria now, where we are from, as long as the state is meddling with religion, it's a problem for me. Let there be separation of religion and the state. For example, why should a government give money for people who are going to Mecca and Jerusalem? Giving them money, subsidizing money for them. They are buying dollars very cheap at the almost lowest price because they want to go and worship in Mecca or in Jerusalem. That is religion meddling into politics. KJ, 2 days ago, I'm from Imo State, Sambokwe Airport, as an Igbo person or someone from Imo State, I cannot fly from Sambokwe Airport to Ivory Coast or Ghana. But you guys saw what happened 2 or 4 days ago. The first international flight from that airport, from that place to Saudi Arabia. Our governor was there. Our vice president was there. He left what he was doing in Abuja to come and say goodbye for pilgrimage. That is where I have problem with the church or with the religion. Let there be separation between these two bodies. They have nothing to do. They have nothing in common. And let's move forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you see that again that was happening in Imo State was because they wanted to create news of that flight. But that's a different topic for another day. I will move to the righteous man.
No, but excuse me, KJ, because I want to log over. This is almost 12 here. I wanted to say something about what the Prof said about the Biafra stuff.
Go ahead and just make your conclusion since you are going to go also.
Yes. Yeah, my conclusion is that sometimes I've said it many times. The elites, the intellectuals in Nigeria, they are not honest. They are not honest. Whether Yoruba, whether Igbo, any or all of them. And any society that you see these people who are not honest, that society it has a lot of problem. You Over there in America, what shaped America is the think tanks, the intellectuals, the universities, the professors. The same thing here in Germany, in England, Oxford, Cambridge, all of them. But when you come to Nigeria, you see them, talking from both sides of their mouth. For example, I asked more simple question. One created Akwa Ibom state and Crossbar called them Southeastern state. If you are honest with yourself, I'm not against somebody answering South. But for Gowon, then you see there was still integrity. There were people who read, who understood geography, who were truthful. They called it Southeast and called now Southeast, East Central. Now the military came and separated, carved those people into South. For example, why should Delta State be in South and Anambra is Southeast? Look at Delta State, look at Calabar. Let us be honest with ourselves. If you want to live in Nigeria, in a country with justice and equity, we have to be truthful. We have to be honest with ourselves. My reason of asking that question is that they did that thing deliberately to making sure that no Igbo state has access to water, to ocean. Simple. Finally, last time when General Buhari called us dot in a circle, if you listen to that clip, he told you that he has met South leaders and youths, and they have agreed that they will not join Biafra because they don't want to give them access to the sea. That is what he said on that clip, on that interview. So when somebody is telling me, grammar that I don't really understand about South, the South should be former Bende states, for example, Edo and Delta State, but giving Calabar and Cross River, Akwa Ibom and River State into South. Let us be honest with ourselves. And that is why you have problem in Nigeria, because we are not honest enough to sit down and discuss our differences. The military that were creating those states, they knew why they created those states, and deliberately splitting people. Okay, for example, the Igbos in Kogi State, the Igbos in what they call it in Benue State. That's no problem. But they made sure that there is Igbo state, no Igbo state has access to deep water. That's where I was trying to let him know. But this kind of, we have all, we don't say the truth. AJ was talking about Igbos, this and that, Yorubas. If you look at in ethnic politics in Nigeria, it was not that Igbos started it. It was Operation Wetie. In the South, in Igbos, we have no problem living with anybody. I never even knew that there's something like called the job, because I thought that everybody is Igbo there until I grew up and read some histories. You understand? But Operation Wetie, who introduced that, is when ethnic politics started in Nigeria. Finally, the Prof was talking about Boro. Even before then, there was a TV. There was TV riot that Ahmadu Bello really dealt with them, because the thieves never wanted to be called Northern Nigeria too. So we have to sit down and discuss this thing, and not me going to sit down, because I don't have the power, I don't have the education to sit down. It is like Professor Wariboko and other people, all of you that are well educated, like my brother Tony here. You guys are please let us discuss this thing, the elephant in the house, that we have problem. Let's sit down and discuss how are we going to live together as one people. And this is not look, let me tell you, when somebody say our unity is non-negotiable, I think it's absolutely bunkon. It doesn't sound well. because none of even the so-called our founding fathers agreed in this, in this unity. If you listen to Awolowo, if you listen to Ahmadu Bello, what they said about Nigeria, they never agreed on this one Nigeria. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I'm signing off from here. Bye-bye.
Richard, I wanted to respond to Richard before he leaves. Is he okay, KJ?
No, let him go, I beg.
I just wanted to say something before he leaves.
Okay. Fine.
Thank you. Richard, when you talked about living in Germany and there is a separation between state and the church, I was thinking that the perfect state-church relationship exists in Germany, because up to today, they still take 1% tax from citizens who identify themselves as member of a particular religion, and they send that 1% of tax to the church in Germany.
Yeah, but they will tell you, I've been living here for many years. They will ask you, do you belong to any church? You say yes or no. Do you want to pay the tax or no? You say, I don't want to pay the tax, and that's it. It's not compulsory.
It's actually 10%.
That is separation. That is separation of the religion and state. They will ask you. It's not automatic. They will ask you, are you willing to pay or not? You say, no, I don't want to pay it, and that's it.
So this is a new knowledge from what you said earlier. That's what I wanted you to put in.
No. I thought, but it's because it's not compulsory. What is not compulsory is not unconstitutional.
I agree with you, Mr. Richard. Austin, I think he made his point very clear. Now,
no, he said there is if you take a task for somebody, the separation. When you mean separation, you said there is no relationship between the state and the church. That is not true. The state and the church they work together.
Okay, let's because it's not here.
Augustine, you would have waited. When it is your turn, use your turn to reboot them.
Thank you, Mr. Richard. We appreciate your contribution.
Use your turn. Use your turn. Make your point.
Have a good night. God bless you. Thank you. We appreciate it. All right. Yes, the righteous man, you were here and you wanted to make a lot of contribution, which how somehow you didn't get the chance to do. So, are you ready now to do that? Or you want me to ask questions to help you?
Thank you, Mr. KJ, and all panelists. You see, the Nigerian state is toxic. If we want to be honest to ourselves, the Nigerian problem can never be solved.
Why do you think that cannot be solved? Are we not
the Russians? Hold on, I will prove it. The world was celebrating 80 years after the Second World War. The Nigerian Biafra War is 55 years. The end of that war is 55 years. If you minus 55 from 8, you minus 55 from 80, you have 30 something years, right? That should be 35 years. Now, in the last 55 years, tell me one impact in terms of national development and progress. I mean, visible 21st century progress that Nigeria has made as a country. Our naira, instead of the value going up, is coming down. That the Gambian currency is more valid than the Nigerian currency. Our hospitals, that the Saudis were coming here, their king and prince were coming here to receive medication. Today, our political leaders and elites goes abroad for medical tourism. That a sector of the Nigerian development died. education. Indians were coming to Nigeria. One of my teachers in secondary school was an Indian man. He taught us mathematics. Today, school education in Nigeria is one of the is in the very lowest level you can think of. Now, when I was in school, I'm not talking of tertiary institution. In primary school after the war, we were given books. In my school then, we have what is called dispensary unit. You have a midwife there and some nurses. When a child runs temperature in the classroom, I mean primary, in Imo State, there is a small combi bus that will take you to the dispensary unit. They will check you, give you first aid before you can be taken to hospital. That was after the war, 1972, 73, 74.
Yeah, but sorry, righteous man. Now, so fast forward.
Yeah.
What is your view of what the prof has talked about today? If you bring it that
That
way,
is what, that is, see,
well, you're
the
going
question, yeah,
so
I've heard you.
where do we go from here? And what can make it? Is it that we cannot be a nation? Because nothing, since that time till now, nothing seems to be working.
KJ, one of the questions I had wanted to ask him, how old was the professor during the Biafra War?
He was 5 years old.
Because he was 5 years old.
When the
he
war.
couldn't have accumulated, yes, he couldn't have accumulated and received substantial information and retain it in his memory to write books and give analogies of what he was giving today. If that is right, it means, hold on, it means that most of the things he was saying here was things he read from books and things the elderly must have told him. And remember, in writing histories, people write to favor themselves. So I took all his analysis about Biafra with just a pinch, because he was not old enough. 5 years, got nothing to remember of. Maybe he will hear plane. That's the only thing he can remember. Maybe plane were firing or they were telling there was war. But to give a critical analysis of that war, it was story that was told to him and the ones he read. And so no historian writes to favor the other side. Because if you bring a critical stakeholder during that war, he will give you a different analysis together that will make you think that maybe he has told lie. So whatever he was analyzing was not based on first-hand experience. It was stories that were told to him and things he read from books. So he is not correct. I will give him about 15% of his analysis. Then, as regard to Nigeria, see, and the church.
It's called history.
No. Hold on. You are coming to your turn. You speak. Just relax.
It will be a mistake for anybody to rubbish the church in Nigeria. Let me tell you something. Many people would have committed suicide today in Nigeria if it is not the church. Because those of you that lives abroad, you don't know what God has done for you. You will not be able to tell the suffering, because let me say it in Igbo, I will translate it. That if you carry another person's dead body, it be like saying a firewood you carry. As you're over there, I'm not saying life is easy there, but life is worth living there. Then if you compare it with what Nigerians, I mean, when I say Nigerians, I'm not talking of the political elite or political class. I'm talking of the majority of the suffering people in this country. Life worth nothing to live. If it is not the church, you would have been hearing suicide in hundreds and thousands. The church in Nigeria, there is no institution that is perfect. There is no institution that is perfect. The church in Nigeria has contributed immensely towards creating hope and faith that will be a better Nigeria tomorrow. Remove the church in Nigeria, this country will burst into civil war.
All right.
And it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate. I didn't hear the Prof mention about Islam. I think his focus was mainly.
He talked about his own and what the research has done. So it wasn't about Muslim or Christian. He just decided to speak about that.
Religion.
Yes.
Okay. So for me, I believe that religion is not our problem here. I'm telling you. Because I live in our everyday life here. What affects every one of us that is a toxic, that is ready to burn a whole house and melt it down, is ethnicity and tribalism. That is the major problem. And I support the last.
Hold on, righteous man. This is going to be my last question to you. You live in Lagos, where this thing is totally, we can see it on daily basis. What will be your solution to this curing this tribalism thing, the tribe that is breaking down the homes of other people who are not Lagosians or who are not Yorubas? What do you say that would be the solution? Is it everybody going to their region, or now that clause, indigenship, be removed from the lexicon of Nigeria? What will be your own advice?
Those who are benefiting from the present structure holds the power, and they will never allow any amendments to happen in Nigeria. Just like what that man said. What stops the seaport in Calabar, the professor? Why is it not working? Why is the seaport in River State? I'm kind of a dual person in Nigeria. My mom is from River State, my father is from Imo State. So why is it that the seaport in River State is not working? Why is the Warri seaport not working? Which is deeper? The Calabar seaport is deeper than the seaport in Lagos here. Why is it not working? It was an economic policy to make sure that the Southeast do not see the light of the day. I said BCD. You see, the worst thing we can do is for us to know the truth and try to color it to be politically correct. Nigeria cannot work. It can't. If you say it can work, return back here and begin to live the life that is here now. It can't work.
Okay.
Unless, finally, let me round up. Unless every tribe, there is no majority, as far as I'm concerned, there is no minority tribe in Nigeria. As far as I'm concerned, let every tribe come together and say, do we want to have a country called Nigeria? And then these are the conditions in which we can live together and say we're a country. But if we say we can't negotiate being together, Nigeria can never work.
All right.
Obasanjo said, if you bring Jesus here, they will corrupt him.
We need to move now. Thank you so much. Yeah, you see, why I asked that question is because people are quick to pointing out there's there's tribal sentiments when it have to do with the Nigerian question. And this tribe has gone deep into our system. Now, Oti, I'm coming to you, sir. You have asked very pertinent question on the sideline. And I want you to now provide for us those answers. Okay, because you are asking righteous man all kinds of questions. But you have an opportunity now to answer those questions. So can you come from your own point of view? Let us understand where you are coming from.
Hello, hi. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I missed the professor's presentation. I was I just when I got back, I just I think when he was talking about what's the political Nigerian political elite, what they could do, So anyway, so KJ, you are referring to what in particular? I mean, because I've
yeah, you had question about the church,
right? I see. Okay. I was actually disagreeing with Righteous Man, or rather, kind of having a different take on that. The role the churches are playing. First of all, Now, because when we talk about churches, really, if we're being honest and sincere, we should quite deliberately or intentionally draw a decision between they're not the same. The churches, I mean, the Catholic Church, Anglican Church, and Methodist, these established churches are not quite the same as these ones that are private enterprise. So we should make that clear, and maybe, of course, perhaps the minor ones, the ones that are having their maybe in a flat or even in a room. So they're all churches. So we should we can't just put all of them in one, but consider them generally. So there are distinctions. So if we're talking about the main churches, okay, that's a different kettle of fish. We can, of course, recognize the important role they're playing in the lives of people, in the social lives of the people. But overall, what I have to say is this: the churches, they have not impressed me. Not because the idea of separating the church from politics is a non-starter. Church is politics. It's a human organization. People come together, and those that are in leadership positions in the churches, they can wield political influence. They can instrumentalize the congregation, the loyalty the people have for them, if they have a political vision, and where they don't, that is the fault of theirs. So my assessment is this: the churches that have not, Nigerian churches that are apolitical, and that is a fault. That is a deficiency, a weakness. So I mean, they're doing little charity here and there. That is not enough. That is the least they can do. What stops them from organizing march protests, organizing political consciousness? That should be their role. So they are not doing well. They have failed. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I mean, in terms of maybe the even the charity they are doing, maybe if they don't do it, it might even help matters. It might even quicken the revolution. Everybody's hoping for. Anyway, so that's about the churches. No, so as I said, when I came in, the professor was talking about okay. Now this is about politics, okay? Now because the eastern region, for example, the old eastern region, and then we now have, of course, the southeast, the south, and So the thing is this: as we belong to a region, whether we are still a region politically, the truth of the matter is this, that just by virtue of geography, all the ethnic groups, the nationalities in this region, they should be talking to each other. But of course, the Igbos, again, you can't deny that fact. Being the majority, the dominant group, being dominant does not mean that you're not equal to others. They can do a better job. Play more intelligent politics. Reach out, get these people involved. Explain to them, tell them, and then, so that is, if I were. Is it?
Oti,
I would say that's the failing of the
on.
Igbo political
Hold on,
elite.
Oti, before you go ahead. That's one area I didn't want to, I didn't want, yes, because I am aware that many meetings were held. I am privy to one because it was my friend from Benue that led it, and I don't want to call her name. She's a professor. She led a government delegation to that meeting, okay, in the southeast, and
between amongst
the middle belters and the southeast.
Okay. No, but okay. I'm talking about
those discussions
region,
have
okay?
been going on, but I don't think he's privy to that. I didn't want to, get into it.
No, sorry. No, I'm not. See, look, I'm talking about specifically the former eastern region. Are you with me?
Okay.
So and I'm saying because the Igbos quite naturally the dominant group, but in terms of population, we can do a better do a better job of kind of So that's what I'm saying. And yes, I think that the Prof, I quite agree with him when he was kind of
I
dealing with
agree
us.
too.
Okay,
I agree.
so right, so okay, so do you have another question for me, or do I just kind of go ahead and?
That's all. I'll come back to you, but let's quickly round up. Get other people.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yes. My brother here. Yes, Mr. Michael. Please go ahead.
KJ, it's a pleasure to see you again, and I see you at the. Yes, I like when you moderate. So I'm going.
Thank you.
Okay. I listened to the professor for the whole section of the presentation or the episode, and from what I take from him, I think for what he's trying to do as a professor, as a learned individual, he's trying to play the middle ground. And I can see from all he's saying is how can we move forward? You see, that was my question. Because every time we come here, every day or every Sunday, we talk about the negative thing, what is happening to Nigeria, what the history of Nigeria. But I want to color the optimism, not to be pessimistic. That is my goal of coming to this platform. And I always appreciate Professor Rudolph that's allowed me, and you too, KJ, allow me to come in. Because if we keep saying all our issues in Nigeria, there's so many millions of issues. But where do we start? And how do we get solutions to it? And when you look about it, when you talk about the touch of religion, as for me, if we look at the history of religion in Nigeria, it has not come to this. The first religion that came to Nigeria, it was the purpose of missionaries. They are the one that started, they give us education, either we like it or not. And it was fermented on free. Because you will see all those times it was free. I enjoy going to Anglican school. I didn't pay, but we buy the books and the uniform and all before I moved to northern Nigeria. So all those things you can see was the fundamental way. And then when you look at the history of the totality of Africa, the religion itself has come to us by allowing us to go away from our own concept of creation. That's when I have issue, my brothers and even sisters are listening, because that religion itself that comes to us, both Islam and Christianity, has not allowed us to absorb who we are as a human being. That's my issue with religion. And then to the point of today, where the religion has become an enterprise. Because it is true we can separate, because the Catholic mission, the Anglican and all that, they did their job. To be honest with you, they did their own part that was good. But you see the evangelism, Pentecostal and all that today, I don't see it. Why will they, like the University of this build in Nigeria, a religious, you remember those days we were going to school, they build a school for us, we go free. But now, even their own member cannot afford to attend the university. So what is the purpose? And the truth about it too is that about religions in that with education is that, to me, even though we are educated through religion, but they have not educated of transfer of technology.
Mr. Michael, hold on, sir.
Yes.
Let me just toss in a little bit. Now, but the best university in the world right now was a Christian school, and most Christians can attend it. That is Harvard. Harvard was,
But guess what? You're right. But Harvard was the best education.
Are they not taking from what? Are they not inferring from what they are seeing?
Exactly. I agree with you. Even some of the Catholic university here in America, but they have transfer of technology. Tell me, where Nigerian university, even when you look at University of Ibadan, all of them, where are they today? They teach us, or we regurgitate, we read, and we have not been able to produce anything. Look at China. China will send their children to Harvard. Is that not what Trump is talking about? Intellectual stealing? Where did they get it from? Where did they get it from, my brothers? Intellectual stealing. They come here, they study, and go back. But us, what do we do with our education? That's what I'm talking about. What do we do with our education? We are the most brilliant Black people on the planet. But what do we do with our education? That's what I'm talking about. Because when education does not have a transfer of technology, there's no survivor of that nation, period. The doctor talk about it today. Our children for the future, they have to be on competitive of global level. Leave travel alone. Leave Igbo, Yoruba, I'm Hausa. Leave that to the side. We need to think of at the global level. How
Who's
our
going to
children,
transfer technology to you?
exactly. How
Who is
our
going to
children can.
transfer technology to you? You steal it. You wait for somebody to
Thank
transfer
you.
it to you.
But
But do we?
that's what he's saying, Mr.
That's
Oti.
what
That's
I'm
what he's
No,
saying.
saying.
no, no. He's talking about waiting for somebody to transfer technology to
No,
him.
no. He's
No, that's what
telling
I'm
us
saying.
to remodel our education to the point that we
Exactly.
can
That's
now
what I'm
get
talking about.
what
Nobody's
other
gonna.
people are getting.
Is there anybody giving you how to live today? No, nobody's giving you. Nobody's coming. If anybody's coming to your house to give you something, please look through the window. There is a reason for it. They're expecting something in return. This is what I'm talking about. And the Europeans have done it to Africa. There's no any European that come to Africa. They are waiting. They're not giving us anything without getting something back. It is not free, my brothers. So all these things, whether I'm coming from a historical perspective of how do we get here, and this is what I'm talking about. And even for us to say, for me as an individual, I mean, over my 60, I hope Nigeria will be better, so that I
Amen.
can take. That's my prayer. That's why I've never said that. I've never come to this to a group that's they condemn Nigeria. Oh, Nigeria is bad. And no, Nigeria is good for those who are, because we need to because sometimes what we speak, it comes to manifestation. When you keep condemning, it becomes a reality. And that's what they say. But when you emphasize a positive things, because let's face it, our elite, they know who we are, and that's what it is. They learn it from Europe, divide and conquer. They make it really. So anytime they want to play their policy, they put religions to it. They put
All
their
right.
tribals to it. So that's the issue that we are educated and we that were fortunate to be in diaspora, we need to think wide. We need to think beyond our scope of tribal.
I agree with you.
So
Totally
that's
agree.
my own opinion.
I totally
Thank you,
agree.
KJ.
I totally
I
agree with you.
appreciate you, brother. Thank
Thank
you
you, sir.
so much.
You see, if we have a nation that has, leaders who are thinking, and I'll give an example. It wasn't that this wasn't there. This was one of the ways that the southerner of Sokoto, Sir Ahmadu Bello, used in uplifting the North. He just got people and sent them to school. In fact, I remember a particular doctor who used to say that, some people got to medical school in London and they couldn't cope up, and then the British government wrote to him, say, we are sending these people back, and because they're not coping. He said, leave them there. Let them do the thing. Are they going to treat people? He said, when they finish, they are coming back here and let them, they are coming to treat people. You just educate them. And today we have medical doctors, whether they were qualified or not, whether some people didn't make it in their this thing, but they developed the north. They move fast in bringing development in the north. I totally agree with you. Yes, CM is an academic, so he will probably tell us how we can transfer this knowledge, and also if the church have been able to help us, and of course other things that you may feel that the prof was able to either touch and you didn't understand or you quite agree with him. He made a lot of good points, and what says thou? Yeah.
Okay. It's close to midnight where I am, but I will say good to some people it's afternoon, to some it might be their morning, but to me it's night. If I say good night, I'm quite in order. Actually, I must say I regret missing Professor Wariboko's session. I know he's been to the 90 Minutes Africa in the past, and it was quite a very engaging topic. What we discussed then, Biafra came up to. Today, I tried all I could, but I couldn't make it. But I heard him say something in terms of, I think, was answering that is third question from Pansat question or so. That I heard him say something about a jaw that maybe the population they shouldn't be called maybe minority and all those things. First of all, nobody in Nigeria should be called a minority. because calling a people a minority is to dehumanize. First, the people. Secondly, to trash their value system, their civilization, culture, and tradition. You don't. You don't. That's why in UN, as small as Denmark is population-wise, it has one seat. The same thing with India. India is 1 point something. India is 1.4 billion. China 1.4 billion. But Cape Verde, all of them get one ambassador at the UN. So in other words, when you come to global roundtable, nobody looks at your geographical area or whatever because we are human. Nigeria should adopt that. I know sometimes I don't usually say it. I try to avoid the word minority coming from my mouth. Instead, I call the ethnic group. That's why people might say, "Hey, you are not this." I prefer to call you your nationality because you have a culture, tradition, value system, and your civilization. So why should I dehumanize you or not accord to you the due respect? So why I brought that up was, you see the tragedy of Nigeria, because whenever they are discussing Biafra, it's both psychological and physical. According to Fidel Odum, one editor of African Concord in those days, he said Biafra as an idea can never die because the trauma is both psychological and physical. Ordinarily, if we say no victor, no vanquished, we could have closed that chapter. One, you don't really need to come and satisfy me. Just build a monument, copy from people. Call it the Biafra Memorial. Go to Federal Capital, put it there. They have Lincoln Memorial in Washington, Washington Memorial, Jefferson Memorial, even Martin Luther King. Because Obama became president, he has to go and put his own there to tell them that, look, it's part of American history. Look at Rwanda. In 2019 or thereabout, I think that was I forgot. I think either 2017, I can't remember. Rwanda happened in 1994, right? So that was 2019. Oshibajo went there, Nigeria's vice president, officially to go and hold a candle. Yes, Nigeria was invited. Oshibajo left Nigeria, Buhari couldn't go. He went there to go and hold a candle, never again. Everybody were holding it and have a memorial. But the first genocide in Africa you want to suppress. Why? What? You see, that's what they call. That's why it's so that people by now people should be going there the way they do American studies as a degree course, European studies, Far East Asian studies, Oriental studies. They do Latin American studies. There are universities having this thing. You should have had something like Nigerian War study. You have a memorial. It's not for me alone. People will now come and be visiting it. If you want to do a research, you go there and you see a lot of things. But I don't know why it reached it. That's you see, these are part of the reason and they can advance them that we want to be on our own so that we can keep our record. Because the moment we establish this, all these things will be. It's not because of the fact that we hate anybody. That's what I wanted to tell the prof. When you see people agitating for this, it's because we want to go and preserve our history and our story. You see, that is the thing. So I wanted to ask him the question I want, because in fact, why I wanted to be with the prof, but I regret it today, is that about 2 weeks ago, somebody came to me in Newcastle. I visited Newcastle. So when I came to University of Newcastle to do something, so somebody was waiting for me. When I came, the person was smiling as if he has known me, not knowing that he's from Nigeria. He came to do graduate study. The name is Joseph. So they said, okay, let me go and talk to him that I can be able to put him through. So when we get talking, he said the name is Joseph. I introduced myself. So the way he was talking, no, Joseph is, I was trying before, he said, this one, ba, this one. So when he said ba, this one, ba, I said, okay, you are from the north. He said, yes. Yeah, man, he said this. And I said, okay, you are Hausa, which I mean, you are a Christian now. I don't know whether you are from. He said, no. He said, I'm from. I say you are from Plateau or Benue. He said, no, no, no. I'm from Nasarawa. I said, Nasarawa. He said, I'm from Nasarawa State. I said, okay, Lafia. He said, no, Lafia is the capital. It's mentioned one rural area. I said, then which, Nigeria? I said, what I know, Nasarawa, I don't know if it's Plateau. I say Birom or Nasarawa, I don't know. He said, I'm TV. I said, what? I said, TV in Nasarawa State. TV should be Benue. He
No,
laughed. He said,
I
no.
know the local government.
Yeah, I laughed. He laughed. He said, no. He said, he's TV. He said, even there are TV in Taraba. He said,
Yes.
there are TV in Plateau.
Yes.
I said, does it mean the TV man in Plateau and Taraba and Nasarawa is the same TV we have in Boko or Mako? He said the same. He said they meet everything. I said, okay. Professor Wariboko is a Joe, probably from Bayelsa, but he's telling you that the Joe in River State is a Joe. The Joe in Delta State is also a Joe, next to Bayelsa. After Bayelsa, there is Edo State. They say there is a Joe there. And look at where you have Ondo State. There is a Joe. Look at Akwa Ibom, very far from Bayelsa. All of them are a Joe. They agree. The same thing applies to Yoruba. But when it gets to Ndibo, for me to say that the Igbo man that I'm sharing boundary from Arochukwu next to Akwa Ibom, the local, nine of them, they said no. Only that 5 states, southeast now we get. That there's no Igbo anywhere. Even when the President General of Ohaneze Ndibo today is Ikwere man from River State. So I won't claim it. I ran into a discussion with somebody. When Nigerians want to say salt Ndibo, they say, go with your 5 plot of land. I said, okay, good. What of the plot of land belonging to Chukwumanzogu? Who will keep that one? The plot of land belonging to Chukwumanzogu. Who will keep that one? They were looking at me. I say, you see? So this is the whole essence of Nigeria. Nigeria is just, we are living a deceit. Until you see, I wish some nurses are listening because Americans are full of our Nigerian nurses.
Let me stop you. Let me stop you. See, please, if you don't mind, let me stop you because I'm trying to manage so we can also get to another topic before we finish. But hold on to that thought we have. That's where I will ask Ovie the next question from. Is it that we are not conscious as a people that the deceit that we have sold to our people will not help us build a nation accurately and fundamentally? Because a nation is founded upon justice and righteousness. Now, if you look at the map of, and I'm coming to you, Ovi, I hope you're paying attention. If you look at the map of Nigeria, if you look at this map naturally and you want to divide it into 4 equal parts, I think River Niger has already helped us. If you wanted to divide it along the natural course, which is the river that helped us, but it's not divided so. And we say that Benue, Kogi, Kwara are all part of the north. From all indication, looking at this map, just at one point, do you find any natural division that comes to your mind, your eyes, first and foremost, if they ask to divide it into 4? And would that come across as the natural north-south that we have now in Nigeria?
Those in power have the capacity to design the nation as they want it. Now, let me start by clarifying 2 things. The idea that there are no winners and there are no losers in our civil war. I think anybody that holds that conclusion doesn't actually understand the bigger picture why the civil war went the way it went. Went the way it went in the sense that why 3 million plus life had to give in that process, in that manner. It was largely that way because it is a transition period from parliamentary system to presidential system. and anything has to go if this thing doesn't go smoothly. Those that want the civil war went ahead and influenced the constitution and also influenced the political structure. Hence the map you are seeing. The idea that you don't have a seaport, the idea that you are finding it hard to actually tell your story is because you lost. Those who won are making it difficult for you to see it like that. All the injustice that you believe that is being done that way, it is as a result of you losing a war. If you listen to interpreters of our civil war from outside, there are some people who are wondering how come the Nigerian state accommodated the section that lost the war, the civil war the way it is. They are marveled. In some other place, now cleansing. So whatever you think that is not natural, that is injustice happening to you today, it's as the result of that. When you lost a war, your destiny literally is at the doorstep of the winner. And it's also entrenched deep inside why the Biafra struggle is still on. Another angle to see who lose or who win. Hansat was trying to make a point, even though I don't agree necessarily with the direction it was going. He said Nigeria is based on Wazobia. Please let me finish before anybody asks me any question. He said Nigeria is based on Wazobia. Now, if you want to go with that, as we speak today, the Zwo is gone. The war is almost gone, which also speaks to the narrative where the CM was trying to say about finding different ethnicity in everywhere. It's almost gone. Then now, the Bia aspect of it saw it long before now. Say, come. If we think our own fate is going to be different, a lie. Hence, they say, la, we are not going to agree with this that is happening. So they have to put their own way. But of course, fortunately, they lost. That by that one. The two, this idea of nation, of church and state. Again, I think people don't actually understand where the idea of church and state comes from or how it dies. When the American Revolution succeeded in 1776, what died with that process was this idea of state and the church. Before the American Revolution, the British were pretty much in charge of pretty much half of the world, one quarter of the world, however you want to say it. What is their mode of governance? Their governance, their power is within three institutions: the church, the monarch, and the state. The state is largely dominated by property owner or rich people. So when the Americans won their revolution, that is the end of that. Now, if you go and actually study the 6 months debate on how the future of America should be constituted, when they came out of that debate, James was asked, what did you people leave for us, the citizen? Is it a monarchy system or a republic? He said a republic, if you guys can keep it.
Keep it.
Which is, instead of over their dead body, which is why they went to war in the first place, for a monarch, for somebody to sit down somewhere and be determining what happened in their colony to be paying tax, they said no. So when they achieved their victory, they based their existence on republic, which means the people have to decide how the power works. Instead of, if you look at it very well, the House of Representatives, that's actually where power lies, which is where the people. In America, as it is, even up to today, 600,000 people per representative. That is what replaced the House of Lords in the parliamentary system. Then fast forward to 1870, where the People's State, the last of their power, lost the whole territory, pretty much the whole territory. Yes. Only the tiny, how many miles right now that they call the Vatican, that is still pretty much autonomous, that was left. Pretty much they lost the whole People's State to the Italian government. So that's where the fragmentation. So the idea of state and power, the fact that the church, the power doesn't come from church, it got the that's what it's based on. Not be who go ask you, say which church you belong to. No, it has nothing to do with that. The fact that redeem cannot determine what happened at the House of Parliamentary. I mean, politically, maybe then they, or any religion structure cannot. That's what it's about. So people, from that 1970, it was the reign of Pope Pius that they lost the People's State. Then now you now understand why the today Pope, Pope Leo, he chose Leo the 14th. The 13th was what finally agreed that the tiny part should be, we can accept that, rather than still continue to fight to see they want to recover their own land back. So there is a transition in Nigerian history to all these things. So unless you know how all the beginnings happen, everything they talk will sound as if we are just making us. That's where I. So the map that you show me is designed by those that won the Civil War. Constitution says it, political structure says it. The why you get 5 states are because some people win and they decide that is how it's going to be. And the struggle continues.
I totally agree with you. Thank you so much. And I'm coming to stay humble. Stay humble. You have been disappearing and appearing, leaving us with your beautiful background. However, you are here. So, can you give us your take?
Say my beautiful background. Anyway, so I just returned from work not long ago.
Oh, okay, welcome.
I missed
Do you follow the discussion?
Well, I missed a greater part of the guest.
But you heard what Ovie said right now.
Yeah, so I joined when my so I say my brother really Oti was talking about religion. I had wanted to make contributions about some of the major issues on ground, but I don't know whether he has an axe to grind with other denominations. They are not they are not Catholic or Anglican, because he said that he made very disparaging, preposterous remarks about and against other denominations, which I found really shocking. Yeah, at this age and time. I know for sure that people, so many middle-aged and elderly people from Igbo extraction still hold on to those colonial sentiments. He said the established churches. By the established churches, he meant the Roman Catholic and the Anglican. That they are this, they are that the other churches are business
Institutional churches.
But you've forgotten the atrocities that the Roman Catholic committed in Cameroon. If you've read Mongo Betty's Paul Christ of Bomba, it will be very clear to you what they did, the French Catholics did in Cameroon, in Gabon, in Democratic Republic of Congo. So you coming out to try to gaslight us and give misleading information about religion in Nigeria. I don't know. You see, the part of the reason.
Let him speak. You have been very patient. You have been here since. Allow him to speak, Oti, please.
So part of the reason why the British did not give power to the Igbos is religion. You know that. If you didn't know that, you know that tonight, because the British. If you study the British history, you know how their fight with the Roman Empire, and then their fight with the Roman Catholic Church. And then that the Roman Catholic Church was already established in Eastern Nigeria as at the time the British were here. So they didn't allow the Igbos to have political power, partly and even majorly because of religion. And for those of us that grew up in the East, I know clearly, the battles that the Roman Catholic and the Anglican fought themselves to pieces. Yeah, the unnecessary dogfight. And the Roman Catholic spent a lot of money to stop Pentecostalism in Eastern Nigeria, but they did not succeed. So you should not disparage the contributions of Pentecostalism in Nigeria, because it was even Pentecostalism and evangelical that even bridged the gap between the Igbos and the Yorubas. The handshake across the Niger after the Civil War. There are so many benefits that Pentecostalism brought to Eastern Nigeria. And Wales, for example, started developing as a nation. Wales started developing as a nation when Pentecostalism gained ground in Wales. Before that, Wales was just a backwater state. Okay, so you said the universities, yeah, you attended a mission secondary school or something like that, that the university that the Pentecostal churches have built, that the members of the churches are not able to attend those universities. The Roman Catholic owned universities, are they free of charge? Yeah, so the schools that are built by the Roman Catholics, they are not free of charge. Yeah, so I will not sit and allow someone.
Okay, so now, is there any other person who has anything to say on this issue before we move quickly out of it?
Yes, I have.
The idea that church is an instrument of manipulation.
I would have.
Okay, hold on. CM, you have 2 minutes.
Yes,
hold on. All right, CM, hold on. Let's OT, you have 2 minutes.
Me too, I will respond. KJ.
Yeah, no problem. If each person will respond, they have 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. OT, go ahead.
You see, I don't make careless statements. I don't say things that I cannot defend, things I cannot justify. Now, I was drawing the distinction between what one might call established churches, institutional. Okay, there's a contrast between that and what any man, any couple, can just do tomorrow. Set up a church, call it any name, and then start having congregation and preaching their own doctrine, their own brand of Christianity. So you can't tell me that they're all the same, they're all equal. Pentecostal, look, again, it's the same problem we have, because no matter how big these churches are, you ask yourself what kind of if like the governance structure, what kind of the discipline, who has the control? Is it a family affair, private business? So you can't compare that to where you have an institutional, organization that is properly regulated and controlled. So I mean, you can not. It's not about you can do miracle, and even a single person can do miracle, can be inspired. But then to have a church should have a meaning, should have a social significance. Okay, it's not something you leave your children, offspring inherit, and you call that a church. What are you talking about? You can't. Don't you understand it? You can't see the difference.
Yeah. So your definition of established churches.
Hold on.
Is based on
hold on.
The colonial.
Stay humble. Can you hear me? Mark your points. CM, what you are going to say, does it have to do with what Stay Humble said?
Yes, it has, and
Okay,
I want to disagree with.
Hold on, so I can answer all. Okay, go ahead.
I want to disagree with he said it is the Pentecostal that sort of facilitated or helped
handshake against the
Yoruba people angry than not the Niger. Then what is the role of Samuel Ajay Crowder, who was an Anglican a slave boy who later became a bishop and translated the Bible into Yoruba language. Remember, and as an Anglican, he helped to bring Anglican Church to Nigeria, and Ndi Igbo followed suit using Niger, where because the seat of Anglican in the southeast in Igbo land started from Onisha. I remember one lecture Zeke gave in 1940s when he traced it. I read it somewhere. So it is not the Pentecostal of after the year 2000 or thereabout, or maybe after the war. It's not really what caught it. I will say is the Anglican Church by, as a sort of propagated by Samuel Ajay Crowder, who is a Yoruba
Yeah,
child.
but CM,
Yeah.
you know, the Nigerian history has it that Christianity, or it was Ajayi Crowder, the first stop was somewhere in Lagos. But we now know, because I did a documentary on that Christianity first came to Shekiri land in a place called Ide Shekiri, which still has a cross built at that place. I went to the cross. I'm not talking story that somebody told me. I stood there. I did a documentary on that. And 300 years before the Ajayi Crowder experience in Badagry, Lagos. So there are certain things are not correct, in the Nigerian, the history of the church in Nigeria. Why did it end in Ide Shekiri? Was because they had a king who did not believe in Christianity, and there was drought in the land, and he gave the Christians 3 months for them to pray. If there's no rain, he will outlaw Christianity. That's how, after 3 months, the rain didn't fall. He outlawed Christianity in Shekiri land because of their early interaction with the Portuguese. This is why Christianity came to their land. But eventually that king ended the Christianity, this thing in Shekiri land. I don't know if anybody have seen that story before, but it's well documented. I'm just simply saying that there's more to what that's out there. All right. Having said that, I see who will go first, Tony or
let me just
KJ,
let me say something.
I have a different. I have an. As in, I don't understand
okay,
why.
hold on. Ovie, you have an objection. Hold on. Let Tony contribute. Then you can come to you, because your voice is going to be long.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes, I think we are. I hope we are not shifting this thing to be a debate between orthodoxy and Pentecostalism. That would be unfortunate, because what Stay Humble is saying, I see the point that he's making. This is not about comparison, because if you begin to analyze and dig deep, you find out that there are so many atrocities that the Orthodox churches have committed,
But that's not
not
the
just
question.
all over the world.
That's not
All
the
over the
question.
world.
It's
Yes,
not
excuse
about.
me. Hold on, Oti. Even in your categorization, the language that you're using, one room church and all that, sort of a thing.
Not
There are
true.
people who belong. Hold on. There are people who belong to that faith. So I have been on both sides. I've been a Catholic, went to Catholic seminary. I'm a Pentecostal now. So I understand the issues. So even in your categorization, I think let us not shift this debate, this thing, from what the original debate is all about. We're talking about religion and state. That's the focus. But if you want to begin to talk about orthodoxy versus Pentecostalism, if you go to the history, if you go back even to the Middle Ages, to the Crusades and all that, there's so many. The Catholic Church, for instance, is still apologizing for some of the ills that it did. But let us not go there, because it's not about saints and sinners. It's sinners all.
Let me ask you: How would you categorize? I mean, the fact that we have in every street in Nigeria, churches.
No. Hold on.
How would you describe that? So this is the
Oti,
reality. Look, sometimes we have to be
okay.
use them.
Let me put this in, so you also, I don't want to push back, because I'm a moderator. If I wasn't a moderator, I would have come up with a lot of things. But when the church started, it was supposed to be house to house. It was a house to house. There was no really large cathedral. When the people were scattered and they left, the early church were meeting from house to house, Paul was going house to house to meet. So let's not even go there because, like I said, when we want to discuss that, we will take it. No, hold on, sir. Please hold on. Let
Yes.
me try. We will take it on a different day. Rudolph has promised to give us a time we will discuss this issue. So let's not bedevil it now. Let's allow Ovie to make contribution.
Even the concept of church is not building. Church, ecclesia is the people, is the called out. So we won't begin to talk about church and all that. Is that nonsense?
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's leave it. Oti, we will come back to it. Please don't be annoyed. Ovie, make your contribution and then stay humble. You finalize your thought. Then we'll move on to the next topic quickly.
It is not our fault that we've been enslaved, but it's our fault if we fail to understand that we are still slaves. From the days of Samuel Ajayi Crowther, Abi, which CM just quoted, to today of Eze, what's that guy that popular in? Religion, the way they brought it has been a game of manipulation from day one to today. Like, this is not me, this is not my conclusion. Go and read the Fatherless People. He gave you the history, the idea that Portuguese introduced it to us. That was at the same time when Portuguese, the 1400, that Portuguese came to Africa, a lot of them invaded the Americans that we have today too. So the idea, even today's paper, today's expose, USID, thanks to the Dodge led by Elon Musk, go and read all the expose that was brought out. USID was set up in 1961. 2 years later, we get the almost regional headquarters in Nigeria, 1963. So the idea that we are sitting here arguing this church, this church do this, is bunkum. Why would church do what the state should be doing? That is when I say the death of the church and state started with the American Revolution. Nobody said at this time, the death. When they lost the purple state, that is what they lost. Not just the territory, they lost the power of state. So they went into manipulation. I agree with the last speaker. I would say the killings that the Catholic Church were doing, not just the Catholic Church, all the religions are still doing it. So the idea that when they praise and redeem, you do good, no do good, that is not their job. That is our job as a people. If we cannot set up a machine, a government that will do that, we are leaving it for people to keep taking advantage of, and here they argue. Just like the same thing with what is within them and VDM. The job that the state should be doing, what we should be holding them responsible for, we leave them for religious people. Obitu will be bragging and taking religion back to the religion. Indoctrination at its core. That's why we argue all the time. We don't know who we are. Says it's a Catholic good. This one good. They are instrument of distraction and manipulation. And when I say they do us what we are, all of us are soft. We all want to go to heaven. Even when our predicament is right in our face, we all want to go. What do you want to find for heaven? Like, what is wrong with us? The American that said church will not have that power to do it again, it should be a great example. Even the British that carry out for the idea, they don't do it anymore. Nowhere church they use power over the state or equal to the state. Power means what the state is supposed to be doing. We let it to really in the name of religion people to be doing. At what extent? That's what we should be asking. All those are acts of benevolence, which is exactly what the church, the Chinese are doing. Giving you loans to build all sorts of structures. It's an act of benevolence. Why? Because you are too cute or handsome? I don't give a fuck about you. They care about your resources. We are suffering because we are not in control of our resources. Nobody is asking the right questions. Everywhere you go today, that's what is happening. Don't say, oh, America go Vietnam, they don't win war. No. They don't want anybody on this planet to have state access to the resources. Tell me any state, any country today that is 100% in charge of resources and tell me if they are suffering. It's as narrow as that. It has nothing to do with why they don't want to go heaven. So the Catholic Church are in pain, not because they lost, it is because they lost the power to exercise what states were doing in the first place to the people. Why would we leave around education and everything to church? For anything for that matter. Because we won't go heaven. Now, that's why they use them against ourselves. Today, if I just go cut my hair, carry Bible, they talking every day. Bless you, brother. Bless you, brother. Do you know how evil, much evil I can do with that? Please. Nobody should go and tell me that, oh, now we they misuse the act of religion. No, it has never been the act of good from day one. From the days of Roman to today.
All right.
It has never
Thank
been
you
for
so
good.
much. Thank you so much. Look, what we do is, you see, this topic is not going to go away. So we'll find a day that we all can discuss it. We will atomize what we're going to discuss because it's so wide. So we'll narrow it down to the effect of the church in Nigeria, whether it is positive or negative, and also the older generational churches and the vis-a-vis the new ones. The truth remains, we are all looking for a way that Nigeria will be better than what it is. I don't think any Nigeria actually want Nigeria to divide, but because of the carnage going on, that's why we're all looking for a way that this blood, can stop flowing. Welcome, Mr. Jago.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you want to make
Thank you, panel.
a contribution
Thank you,
before
listeners.
we round up the topic and move on?
Yeah, well, thankfully, I didn't really want to come on and talk about religion and tribalism. I mean, sometimes I think, I listen to the channel, even though I may not comment or whatever. I come on board and see where everybody is after so long. And it again still seems to me that we're just going round and round in circles, confusing ourselves the further. Bad pronunciation, bad English, bad communication skills all day long. And I'm listening and I'm thinking, my God, man, I feel that there are serious, important issues in the world today, serious ones, that somehow we miss. We just like missing the seriousness. I've got real problems with we people that call ourselves Nigerians. I think we are very geekish. We're too clever by half. We continuously miss the point. Continuously. We love to miss the point. In West Africa right now, there's a union called AES, I believe. Burkina Faso, Mali. And since they've come together, I've been trying to get Nigerians to think that, look at this, look at these people, look at what's going on here. Is this not an example of where Nigeria is supposed to be 20 years ago? Nigeria should have been there. Yet somehow Nigerians are ignoring it. Generally, we're just ignoring that whole thing. And we're there in a big, horrible country where the whole nation is ignoring it. We had our president, Tinubu, trying to fight against revolutionary people, using ECOWAS by the steering of France and the West. And we don't talk about these things. We behave like it doesn't matter. Yeah, Nigeria is... I really am disappointed with Nigerians, and I'm kind of disappointed with the show. Speaking about the Pope and the Pope's inauguration, I think you used about 3 or 4. Dr. Damages, I've seen him all over his channel speaking about the Pope. And I'm thinking, is it because the Igbos are Catholic? That's why you need to speak about the Pope? Because just as Orpheus just underlined, you heard what he had to say. It's a crock of nonsense. Why are you following it? Why? Are you stupid? I mean, I have to ask these Christians, I'm so sorry. I hate to be abusive or aggressive or whatever people see me as, but are you stupid? The whole world is going on and we are losing on a general basis. And we're talking about the Pope. You've got to be stupid. You've got to be. You've got to be. I mean, all these things that we have that have been given to us through our educators, they seem to be there to confuse us, not to bring us to any level of common sense or critical thinking. The church is separated from the state. That's just a pronouncement. It doesn't mean anything to any of you. It doesn't mean anything to any of you if you tell yourself the truth. What does that mean? It's all the same thing, you crazy people. You see, in this world, everything is together. Everything is operating. Everything. So by the time you start making all these lovely, cute academic statements and think that you've made anybody any the wiser, I think you're an idiot. You're not knowing what's going on around you. You're not smelling the coffee in the air. You're telling us that it's jasmine. I think
what should we be talking about? Give us something to talk about.
No, wait there, bro. Wait there. Let me have my rant, please. We can follow the news all we want. We can put the news on and follow it. They are giving you an agenda, and as you just said it yourself, they are giving you a distraction. It's a distraction all day long. All day long. What we have to think about is our revolutionary spirit, understanding that we in the diaspora especially know that we are suffering, and that means our people back home are suffering the more. Full stop. If a country like Nigeria is not looking to see how they can join AES, that's when you know that there's a big problem. AES are on their way to pushing back the oppressors in their land. Big bad Nigeria can't even join them. We have common Ghana, other small countries looking to join what the AES are doing and saying. Another thing I want to put to everybody: have you heard the English that our man Ibrahim Traore speaks? I marveled at the clarity, the non-wasting of words.
That's AI, my brother. That's not him speaking.
Okay, calm down. I didn't know that. I've heard about it's been AI, but it seems to be in a very similar accent. Why is he laughing? It's not that incredible. So what if you know?
Because you are fucking brainwashed and you are coming to tell us what we should be talking about.
Don't start shouting.
Talking about as a power. Why are you talking about, my brother?
What, bro? Normally you talk a lot of shit, so don't keep yourself to yourself.
It's a power block.
Normally,
Can you conclude?
I will try to.
You don't even recognize what AI is doing to you. You are a victim of AI.
You said it once. It's enough, isn't it? Isn't it to say once enough? Why are you repeating yourself? You damn dimwit. Shut up, OVA. Because you don't know that
much. You want to tell us what we should be talking about.
I'm saying to you,
you are too dumb to
why are you arguing with me?
If you don't have the requirement to a conversation.
I don't want to argue with you. I have nothing to argue with you about because I don't believe you're your man.
I argue with my equal, not the people I should be teaching. I can't argue with you.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Now you said that and you made yourself happy. You've made yourself happy that you are an intellectual idiot. And I agree with you. So now step aside. Let me finish what I've got to say. I didn't disturb you when you were saying anything. So don't disturb me. The fact that they're using AI.
I'm only interjecting because you are.
No, that's not an interjection. That's just rude. That's just being rude because you're jealous of what I'm saying. Let me finish. I don't want to argue with you.
I'm not arguing with you. I am just telling you how unintelligent you are.
Calm down.
No,
I'll ask you when I want to.
Calm down.
KJ, I don't.
No, let me finish what I've got to say, please.
Just hold on now. When you are
I don't want to hold on. Why don't you let me finish?
No.
Bruh, I can't shout. Over, I can't shout. I can't bully. I can't do that right now.
I can. If you want to think you are clever, I can.
All right, you've done it. Now shut up. Let me finish.
You will finish if you don't insult us indirectly.
You're an idiot, OVA. That's an insult for you. You collect that.
Intro smooth and catchy. Oh na na, yeah. It done up in again now. Every man go get it on Natasha there for you. Oh, you're betting on cha cha cha. Say you they run your race. I buy you they play. Two kind girls they wait. You go see them face to face. One go light your world like December day. The other go show you Pepe, no time to explain. If you don't suffer, joy go come. If you the wicked, karma go run. No be by mouth, no be by phone. Natasha go come, we go balance the night. I touch you. There's a Natasha for everyone. Choose your own, make you no go
I have nothing new to say.
People are hungry.
Let them die. It's their fault. Yeah,
Can I come back on, KJ? I'm all right.
You're supporting Tinubu.
100% to deal with Nigerians.
Thank you. Can I finish
Thank
what
you
I've got
so
to
much.
say? KJ, can I finish what I've got to say?
Yeah, can you?
Otherwise, it would be
have
very
1 minute?
unfair that you allow this bastard to just interrupt me like that.
No. That's
Now,
a foul language. That's not good.
No.
That's not good.
It's the level of his intelligence. When you don't get vocabulary
no,
to make
it's
words
okay.
again, you begin to
Ovia,
insult people.
I've removed him.
That's
Let's
what
move on. I've removed him. It's no longer there. Please, let's not talk behind him. All right. Mr. Ike, you're welcome. Can we have your take? We're moving out of this topic. Mr. Ike, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening. Good
All
evening,
right.
everybody.
Good to see
Play
you.
us Buba Galadima. Play Buba Galadima. That's what is good. I want to hear. Play Buba Galadima.
All right. You are all welcome. I think that was,
But I was talking. You asked me to speak, and you are saying something.
You're not speaking now. Okay, now.
No, but I'm speaking.
You allow CM to speak on your behalf.
I'm speaking, but CM
Let people who don't live in England articulate themselves. If you live in England, all you could do is insult. There's something wrong with that now. You don't get intellectual capacity to allow argument.
No. Ovia, let's not go there. Let's allow Jago. It's not on set now.
Listen, KJ.
Yes, go ahead, Ike.
My only observation I want to make is about the comment of Jago calling everybody idiot here and stupid. Listen,
Exactly. Everybody keep quiet.
I don't know why you should allow him to continue to insult everybody using my brother Ovia as a platform.
He's doing indirect insults. Now they look up.
Let me finish. He doesn't have any right to tell us what we discuss here. If you're having a topic we are discussing, if you don't like it, you walk away. When they bring the topic that you like, you join. He doesn't come here to tell me that only him speak Queen's English and insulting everybody here. I've been watching from the background. But because of his action, that's why I came in to tell you, my brother KJ, I don't know why you allowed him to speak so long, because he have insulted everybody here, including the owner of the platform. He doesn't make a choice what we have to speak. If you are talking about something you feel you don't want to be part of it, you walk away. When they bring a topic you want, you join. So why is he trying to bully everybody that he knows what he's speaking, talking about IAE, or what is he talking about? Who cares about what he's talking about?
He know who not with the AI.
Discussing here. So why will he tell us what we have to discuss?
Okay,
brother Ike, he's entitled. He's entitled. Okay. He's entitled to make his opinion, but it's for the moderator.
I'm also entitled
to the moderator to say no. It's for the moderator to say no. We can't take this.
Nobody insult me. If you insult me, I will insult you back. I will not wait for any moderator.
Okay, now
it's this matter. You live in England. You live in England. Vocabulary to make up your point should not be an issue, but you turn on to insult. Means that you don't know what you are talking about. If you cannot even differentiate AI and reading, then you know what you go talk about. Come on, man.
Okay, Ovia.
Everybody is not dumb.
Let us move on. But I want to tell you, Mr. Ike, you see, in this profession, we are used to people telling us that we don't know what we are doing. I'm not the first person, People always tell us we don't know what they're doing, and they want us to do what they think what they want. That's how it is. If you are doing this profession long enough, you know that. I've gone to do an interview with a minister. The minister told me even where we are putting these things, our equipment, we don't even know how to put it. So you swallow all that and still do your work and walk away. So based on that, let's move on. I think I gave him I gave him enough time because he has not been around for a while. I wanted him to have time to say his own bit, but it ended up the way it ended. I don't have anybody a grudge against anybody. It's a public forum. Nobody's being paid to be here. I myself am not being paid, so we are all using our time to try to help Nigeria. The topic we may be discussing may not be what you think we should discuss, but could it be that we have discussed what you are thinking we should have been discussed? Because we have discussed the AES issues here. We have discussed the setup and how things are going here. We have discussed other issues that you may not have been on the platform when it was talked about. So they're saying that we should always come and discuss Traore. We discuss that also on our own private pages. So most times it's not what we come to discuss. today we are paying attention to what the prof have said, you know, and then responding to that, and a little bit of, you know, other news which I am choosing to put in because of next week, what's going to happen next week. So let's calm down and discuss, because no matter what we say on this platform, Nigeria will not change tomorrow. We are just trying to put our own bits.
If
Thank
you
you
can
so
give me
much.
5 seconds, I want to say 5 seconds.
Yes, and I'm bringing Jagu back. So please, Jagu, and let's try and maintain our civility.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
5 seconds. My brother Tony, I wasn't talking about his opinion. I was talking about the insult. I have nothing with anybody's opinion because not everybody agrees with my opinion. But by using your opinion, trying to make us look like we are children in the platform is what I reject, and that's what I stand for. I'm not against what his opinion is all about, but he's trying to use the what of you is doing, trying to tell us we are talking nonsense and only what he want us to talk is what we're going to talk about. That is unacceptable to me. That's why I have not come into I came into the platform because purposely for him, because what he was saying, I'm not against his own opinion by trying to tell us we have to speak what they want to hear. That is not what this platform is all about. If we talk about what you don't want, you walk away. When we speak what you want, you come in. That's my point.
I agree. I agree.
You got me wrong still. You got me wrong, but I don't mind. I don't mind that you get me wrong. It's okay. You understand? It is what it really is just let me finish. Just let me land. Because I don't have the energy to fight right now. I ain't got that kind of energy right now. All I wanted to do was to land. You know? Land. Then you can do all what you wanted to do. Insults come when anger enters. Anger enters when I'm being shut up. You can't shut me up. Why are you trying to shut me up? It's wrong. That is more wrong. What I
Because
said.
I'm also angry. Anger comes
Yeah,
with
okay.
anything.
You see what I mean?
Don't have the
Just let me.
monopoly of anger. That's
All
what you
right.
don't
It's not.
get.
You see, you're always on it. You're always on it over here, but you're not
One
really.
thing.
You're not
Don't be
talking
scared of
sense.
me. Address me directly. Don't be scared. You're a
Well, why
grown
should I be
man.
scared of you? You damn
Exactly.
fool.
Talk to me
This is
directly.
where it
Talk to
comes.
me like a man.
You see what it
You
is
live
over
in
here.
England. Vocabulary should not be your problem. Talk to me.
What is that? What are you talking about? What are
Calm
you
down,
talking
please.
about?
Let him speak, please. Let him speak.
What are you
Please,
even
calm
talking?
down.
You see,
Calm
I
down,
don't
calm
mind,
down.
but I just
Calm
don't. I like speech that is based on reality, not based on somebody's emotion. You're just being emotive, nothing else. Anyway, if I can finish.
Okay,
If
can I
can
speak?
finish.
Can I speak now?
Yes,
Listen,
KJ.
we cannot control how people use English in terms of the choices they attempt to choose, or whether we feel that they know how to speak grammar or not. The truth of the matter is that we all have different ways of expressing ourselves.
Is that directed to me or who?
No, I'm just generally saying. So let's all mind how we speak to one another. Nobody is anybody's.
Oh, Obia has something against me, but that's up to him. He can carry that all his life if he
Brother,
wants.
you are too dumb for me to have something against you. I only be with my equal. You don't know anything for me to have anything against you. What you be?
You have to answer
What you
everything.
be? You say everything are the same, but you are differentiating church and ES. When you say everything are the same, how dumb can you be?
No.
Cannot be
You
the
say,
same.
how many times are you going to repeat yourself? You
Okay.
repeat. You said that about
Because you
5
are not
times.
getting it. You don't seem to get it.
You see, unfortunately, you're.
Okay, you guys, I'm going to take you
please.
backstage. I'm going to
If
take you
this guy
back.
doesn't interrupt me, I will finish nicely.
You say
If
anger
you
will
can,
bring anything. You are angry, I am angry. So anything goes.
You have
I'm
to
using
take
your
out
philosophy.
Ovie and
You're
take
just being
out
Use your
Jagu.
philosophy.
Take the two of them out.
Ovie and
You should
Jagu,
have come out a long time ago.
I don't want to take you guys out. Please don't
It's
force
not
it.
you guys. You see, you're misunderstanding. It's not you. I'm speaking and he's interrupting. That's not
But
you guys.
you are talking. He's talking. We can't get anybody to hear.
But
So
is it my turn or not?
this
Is
is
it
your
my
turn
turn to
now.
speak or
End
not?
your sentence so I can move on. Ovie, please don't interrupt him. You have
That's what you said that the first
2
time.
minutes.
I am only
Please.
responding. I'm not interrupting. I will always respond when you
You
person
see,
insult me. I will respond. That's it.
I didn't insult you. I didn't insult you at all. You insulted yourself. Anyway, what I'm trying to put to everybody is not the subject matters that we speak about. It is the importance of this platform. You know, I'm not always here, and I listen more than I come on. I come on seldom, if at all. I don't have to come on. I don't have to come on. This show is not the ending or the beginning of anybody's life. However, one should be able to critique according to his own understanding of how or what's going on around him, around the world. We're here supposedly as Nigerians in the diaspora, mainly, to see what we can do in the support of our nation, in the support of our people worldwide. Now, you know, unfortunately, people carry emotions, people carry hate, people carry all these kind. I haven't got time. Who's got time for that? Who's got time? You know, people think that they're intellectual giants. That's up to them. You know, go with your intellectual giantism and stay in your corner because you're not doing much. All I'm saying is for the platform, for all the platforms that are out there, I still believe that this is probably the strongest one. It's probably the strongest one based on the people, in fact, who come on it and based on the organization itself. All I'm saying is that there's a trajectory happening. There's something happening right now in the ether. And I'm thinking, are we grasping the actions or are we just playing intellectual sword fencing? I'm cleverer than you, which is one thing that certain people like to think. Is that what we're doing? All I'm saying is that there is a responsibility on all of us who have passion for our people. You know, Ovie doesn't have to like me. I don't have to like him. That's up to him. You understand? He can talk.
You mentioned my name. I have the right to respond.
Why should I mention your name? You're here. You're here. You're a person. Whether
I'm not
you
talking
respect
to
me,
you. I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to
You're
Katie
not.
that will have the right to respond when you're done.
No, you can respond after. You can respond
Okay,
after. You
just
don't
go
have to
ahead
interrupt.
now. Ovie, I will give you time to respond.
He
Just
can
give him-
respond. There's a way that he's functioning that he's not functioning, unfortunately. Now, all I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what any individual thinks. There is still a way that your passion, your angst, your desire should be able to shoot accurately. If you're going to shoot accurately. Try and hit the target, not just start spraying everyone anyhow. All I'm saying is that, bruh, right now, I think generally that Nigerians aren't going to solve their problem based on the way we speak to each other, based on the way that we're easily insulted, based on the way that communication in itself doesn't seem to land. It doesn't seem to land with us. We have problems at the top, yes, but I think our problems are really within ourselves. More than we can complain about Tinubu, we can complain about the next person. The problems are within ourselves. They're with us on a daily basis. Let me land there, Joe.
Okay, thank you so much. Ovie.
I agree. It doesn't matter what individuals think. But an individual is coming here to tell us that what an individual thinks is not the right way to think. I don't know how we reason. As I said, if you live in England, generally speaking, and all you can do when it comes to issue, you let it beyond emotion and anger and you are insulted, then you don't know anything about the subject matter. Because if you have the points, insult will be the last thing that will come to. Even if you disagree with that person, just intellectual way to make your point. But when you come here saying that individual thinking doesn't matter, then I wonder, the person who is speaking, is it an individual or just another entity that is he or she is representing? I keep saying it, not be everybody they dumb for this place. Just like Mr. Ike said, address issue. Don't be talking indirectly. Some of us, we know, just like our guest 2 weeks ago, he studied pattern of communication, but still don't understand that. The fact that overnight the whole continent is celebrating one guy, that is a pattern there. Somebody will come and tell me EAS is a power block. They are freaking the whole GPA, they gather everything when they get together, it no pass 200 billion. Something where they buy shoe for some constituencies and they say they get power. And then you now ask me to live the way I think, you listen the way they reason. When the whole world has to understand that the translation of the man they call a hero is fucking AI, but still we should listen. Again,
okay, all right.
Point, if there's a point at stake, and it's religion, the fact that we don't see the aftermath of what religion is doing to us, and we can say we are suffering. Somebody will come and tell me, because you know how to think, that Nigerians are suffering, we have a problem. Of course, it's very visible to the blind. But what is the cause?
Okay.
And if you don't see the religion is playing,
I think
Then I
Ove,
am sorry.
you made your point. Let's move on. I have one other topic we need to discuss, and then after that it will be a wrap. Um, okay, I don't know where to take it from, but next week we are going to have um, the court cases of Nnamdi Kanu come up next week, and next week they're going to have 3 court sittings. And so far, I don't know how many of us have followed the development. And talking about distraction, I still feel that the very dark man's issue was a distraction, so that the issue that will come out of Kanu's procedure will be played down. That's my own opinion. I don't know about you. However, in the court, a lot of things came to the fore, and I was so happy, and I hope that the DSS will continue playing Nnamdi Kanu's tape this next week as we go in, because the more of the tape they played, the more he got more combats, even among the lawyers listening to him, because everybody seemed to make sense out of what he had been saying. And there's just like we have been talking earlier, there is a rude awakening. Even the blind are beginning to see. But let's listen to this video and then we'll come back to discuss.
People of Biafra Nnamdi Kanu during his arrest on October 15, 2015 in Lagos. The witness, who is an operative of the Department of State Service and codenamed PWAAA, also informed the court that no arms of public disturbance was recovered from the lady arrested along with Kanu. During cross-examination conducted by Kanu's lawyer, Kanu Agabi, the witness said that all the items recovered in the hotel room were personal properties of the Biafra Nation agitator. He, however, said that the recovered items may not be ordinarily offensive, but the intention of the defendant may be something else. The witness also admitted that Kanu's statement was obtained without the presence of his lawyer and that statements were not obtained from other persons.
We started our cross-examination today, and for hours it ran, and I guess we have made progress, and we're getting there. The matter is set down for Tuesday for continuation of cross-examination, and of course for new other witnesses to be heard. We believe, like we said at the last sitting, we're making progress. The trial is going on in a very congenial atmosphere, and we believe that we will get there.
That occurred in Lagos during the NSAS protests. Of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has distanced himself from any form of violence that occurred in Lagos during the NSAS protests. In a video recording played in court, Nnamdi Kanu, in an interview with Mr. BBB, who is the prosecution's second witness, said, in his words, admitted to being the leader of IPOB and ESN. Celestine Area reports.
An interview conducted. The trial of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, resumed with the second prosecution witness, BBB, continuing his evidence in chief. Today, another video recording was played in court. The recording contains an interview conducted by the second prosecution witness with the alias BBB with Nnamdi Kanu. In the video, Mr. Kanu admitted to making a series of broadcasts during the NSAS protest. However, also in the interview, he said, and I quote, "Any form of violence that occurred in Lagos during the NSAS protest cannot be attributed to him, as Lagos is not a Biafran state," end of quote. He added that, quote, "IPOP is the non-violent movement. Your interpretation of my broadcast is different from my understanding," end of quote. In the words of Mr. Kanu in the interview, "I cannot count members of IPOP. I practice Judaism. We do not count our members," end of quote. No IPOB member is a terrorist. They do not involve themselves in any form of criminality. During the course of the interview, which was played in court, the DSS officer interrogating him played him a video recording, which was one of his broadcasts on Radio Biafra, where he was issuing out directives to some of his supporters during the NSAS protest. The audio recording played during the interrogation is transcribed as, "Any government property in Lagos should be burnt down. Mr. Kanu's response to the video being played for him in the interview was that, and I quote, "It is my broadcast, and I said anyway Biafrans are killed, there should be a retaliation." In conclusion of his evidence in chief, the witness, Mr. BBB, told the court that ESN carried out orders of Mr. Kanu for sit-at-home order, and innocent lives who did not obey the order were allegedly killed. That the ESN was allegedly used to terrorize innocent residents, where the people were subjected to fear, particularly in the southeastern states of Abia, Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi, and Imo, paralyzing both social and economic activities in the region. Counsel to Mr. Kanu refused to cross-examine the prosecution's second witness, saying they need time to consult with Mr. Kanu. Speaking for the defense team, Paul Erokoro, senior advocate of Nigeria, noted that Mr. Kanu has been in custody and they need to confer with Kanu. He said the court should adjourn to 21st May. However, the prosecuting counsel, Adegboyega Womolo, senior advocate of Nigeria, objected to the long adjournment because the court had granted accelerated hearing in the case.
Okay. Welcome back, gentlemen and ladies. Okay, no ladies. The ladies are on the keyboard. Okay. Welcome back to this broadcast. I just wanted us to refresh our minds what's going to happen next week in our beloved nation, Nigeria. Now, if you have followed the procedure in the court, you will have seen that so many things have been put forward. For the very first time in Nigeria, I have not heard before now that people are masked to give testimony in a Nigerian court, but it's the first time it's happening. And I've also not seen that you don't give your proper name, even when you wear the mask, your proper name is not seen. But I leave you guys to make your contribution to this, what you have heard, what you think is coming in next week. There's also the desire to try to put in everything bad that happened in Nigeria on the head of Nnamdi Kanu. Hence, they try to put the murder of what's his name now? Bullock, the guy who was murdered in Owerri, on the head of Nnamdi Kanu also. And the jailbreaks, even the jailbreak in Benin, they could see, in fact, the army and the police were all having rifles. The video is clear there. You can see them not even minding to do anything to capture any of those prisoners and all that. All that played out before them, But now it is said that Nnamdi Kanu is the one who ordered the jailbreak. This Nnamdi Kanu was a very powerful guy. He just orders and people go out and do it. Okay, so I'll come to you, Mr. Ike. You have seen what is there. We are only trying to review what we're expecting next week. So what do you say concerning what we have seen so far in these videos?
Okay, Jay, I think first of all, I have to appreciate the fact that finally that the case is in court. And I think that Nnamdi Kanu has a very good team, and we know also that whatever allegation that is being leveled upon him from many places in Nigeria, we know that's not true, and we know from the first is the prosecution witness who confirmed that whatever he find that with him is his personal belongings. And also, Nnamdi Kanu, we know, has never ordered anybody to kill anybody. So, whatever happens in court, the case is in court right now, and I'm not going to prejudge what is going to happen. But also, on the other side of it, if there is going to be a political settlement, and that will be good also for everybody, where the charges has to be dropped and everybody move on, because we live in a country where we have seen so many what is happening, what people of Boko Haram is doing in Nigeria today. And the so-called herdsmen, some of them, when they are caught, they say they reform them. And they reform the Boko Haram people. They reform them and put them into the Nigerian army, you know. So I think that the opportunity that was given to Sunday Igboho and given to Sowore himself should be given to Nnamdi Kanu, right? So for me personally, I think that Nigeria deserves peace, and continue detaining Nnamdi Kanu is not going to help anybody. He continued to repeat it. He cannot continue to order to be killing the same people he wants to protect. So I think, and I am hopeful that either through the court, either political settlement, we need this case to be settled. It doesn't matter what the allegation they are bringing. We know what is the fact, and we know what is the truth. Nobody is claimed to be guilty until proven in the law court, and the case is in court. So I just hope that Nigeria judiciary, the government will be able to see that Nigerians need peace. The Southeast need peace. We want peace everywhere in Nigeria, and part of that peace and reconciliation will start if they have to let this young man go. You know, I think that will be the beginning of that reconciliation for now. So I do hope, personally, this is my personal opinion, that whatever that is going in the court, so far so good for me personally, the way I've been following the case in court. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to prejudge the judiciary in Nigeria. We already know what they are and what the interests of the government in power, you know, and the power that be in Nigeria in Nnamdi Kanu's case. But my hope and my prayer is that everything ends well for everybody, so that at least we can be able to have peace in the Southeast. And I think that that what I am thinking or what I feel is what many Nigerians feel about the situation. If Igboho could go as far as going to Britain to submit his republic, his quest for a republic, you know, strong with this young man. So I think that we should be able to use political settlement and let there be peace in Nigeria, that so that we can live in peace and move Nigeria forward. So I'm hopeful that whether in court or political settlement, we're going to find peace soon. And I don't want to prejudge what is going to happen in these few days, because we know that, I think, is it 3 days consecutively, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm even happy that they want to quicken it, because I don't know, I don't like the idea of postponement. So I think if they can do it like this, it will be better for everybody, so that we will be able to know where Nigeria and where we stand. So, but my stand is peace for Nigeria.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Siam. Last week, a particular lawyer, forgetting his name now, tried to smuggle himself into the defense team and wrote to the judge saying that he had been included in the Nnamdi Kanu's defense. Good enough, the judge didn't just admit him. He now asks from Nnamdi Kanu's team if they are aware that they have an additional lawyer, which none of them knew or had ever heard of him before. So, in your own summation, what would you say was the intention of that, trying to smuggle somebody who is not in the defense team into his team? Because, as you know, more than three senior advocates have joined the team since they heard the first tape. In fact, the first tape was an eye-opener to a lot of lawyers who were in the court that day, because they heard what they've never heard before, and they heard what the news are reported upside down. If you're also aware that Punch reported that a very, incriminating headline saying Nnamdi Kanu admitted in court that he was the one giving order to people to be quiet. So what would you say is the reason for all this news trying to spin the story around, or trying to get into the back side of the defense to know exactly what is happening?
Okay, well, in the first instance, lawyers themselves, they always cite this diction. I don't know what is it said. You can't put something on nothing
Nothing.
and expect it to stand. And there is, incidentally, it's Lord Dennings, an English judge, a jurist, that said it. The case of Nnamdi Kanu is standing on nothing. So how will he stand? First, in trying to bring somebody to a trial, court is a process. The legal profession is a process anywhere in the world. That's why lawyers believe in rule of law is not something you drop. It's a process.
Due
That's
process.
a thank you, good, due process. That's why they said if we go to the court and the prosecution is there, there's no defense. It's not a trial. They will tell you there must be a defense. If you don't have, they go through legal aid council, like you have in Nigeria, or here they must be represented. So it's a process. Man, they cannot come into Nigeria. How? How did it happen? Flew from the air? I mean, that is what I mean by you can't just go and kidnap somebody. Already, this has gotten to the Supreme Court. All these things they are doing, to me, is just a drama. Just with all due respect, it's just a drama. The Supreme Court has already made the case December 15th, 2023, being Friday also. They said, first, Supreme Court indicted Nigerian government for depriving Nnamdi Kanu of his bail, duly granted. What are you doing in his house? Somebody you've given a bail? Bail means go home or go and prepare for your case and come back. You have the lawyer. Nnamdi Kanu's legal team is known to the government. Abia State Commissioner of Police is employed by the federal government. The DPO of his local government, even the local police station. So if you need Nnamdi, and you seize his international passport, yet you went there and slaughtered 28 people, and you still want to try the person. Supreme Court said so. And Supreme Court also told Nnamdi, said Nnamdi Kanu should be paid for infringing on his right. Nigeria should pay for it. That is Supreme Court saying, the highest court in the land. The same Supreme Court also indicted Nigeria, said Nigeria should be conscious of their image abroad because of flouting international law. You can't go and kidnap somebody in the midnight, tie the hand behind the back, blindfold the person and bring him in and start to put him to trial. It's not done. Meanwhile, America had the opportunity because Hush Puppy gave evidence in America. Hush Puppy was extradited from UAE because he duped some American billionaires. They had a link. They have to report to CIA or FBI. They fished out Hush Puppy. They didn't just go there and smuggle him. They went to government of UAE. Extradition was done. Then the guy came down to US. In giving evidence, he indicted the Abakari, a police officer in Nigeria. America, with all the superpower for that matter, with all the military might, they wrote to Nigeria and Malami them. Say, look, this person, we need him to come and answer for charges made because somebody implicated. It's as simple as that. America was waiting. So why can't America do this type of thing? So this thing now they can it's just because they're just doing it because the essence of all this trial and they can is to scare people from talking of Biafra, that Biafra will not be realized, but they are wasting their time. Biafra is on the calendar. The other day I was on a platform, people are even saying that Nnamdi Kanu is a prophet, that all the things he predicted about Nigeria is what Nigeria is going through. The only thing left is for that independence of Biafra. That is what hasn't come. But every other thing leading up to it, look at where Nigeria is now. So all this is happening about it is just a shenanigan. All the broadcasts they are showing, we are listening to it. We are followers. It's not something Nnamdi Kanu said yesterday. They heard him since 2015, but they are bringing evidence of NSAS 2020. So you go and hold somebody in the hope that in future the person may do something, you use it. Why were you holding him in 2015? After 2015, was there answers? 2016 was there answers? 2017 you didn't try him, was there answers? 2018 he was with you, was there answers? 2019 until 2020, then you now bring it. You are telling us something happened. But you invaded his house in 2017. So which means if this trial hasn't come up and something happens again in the southeast or anywhere, maybe in 2026 or 2027, by 2030 they will refer to it. I mean, this is just sure nonsense. Yeah, that's why I'm not really taken aback. But one thing I want to end on this note: Biafra is on the calendar for those that are journalists. Fidelis Odum, former editor of African Concord, he said Biafra as an idea can never perish because the trauma is both psychological and physical. Physical, you see the signs in the southeast. Psychological, because every day some people will tell you, I remember my father, he died 10 years ago, 10 years anniversary. Oh, I want to remember my parents that died. In fact, the spirit of my father, when I listen to it, oh, my husband, when he was alive, my husband helps me. I see him in a dream. When over 5 million people died, do you think they are cockroaches? Their spirits are not worried. Do you think Igbo land is at rest? You cannot. The Jews lost 6 million people through Holocaust. They established their own state. Biafra state must stand. Whether Nandi Kanu they fight him on all these ones is just to make sure that they're quieting it, so that in the end people will be scared. Oh, don't if you talk about Biafra, don't talk. It's a lie. Frank Fanon, for those that read, he said every generation has a challenge. It is either you betray it or you fulfill it. The reason why our forefathers fought for Biafra is different from what they are seeing now. These ones that are 25 years old, born the year 2000 or 1995, that are maybe 30 years old, that are doing Biafra, all these things. They weren't 1967. They weren't born then. What they are talking of is what they are seeing, the physical of Biafra. That is what is making them. And again, they found out that the father of internet was a Biafran chap called Philip Emeagwali, who left Biafran camp to run away to America. Give the world the internet, and he say Biafran, and they are not. The world is now using it. The world is now using it to advance. But in Nigeria, we are still in a stone age. So the people, the youths, the Biafran youths now, they are in a hurry to match up to China in business, Israel in technology. Then what is it called? What is the other one? India, in terms of supply of manpower. So it's only in the Igbo that are subjugated. So I'm coming. So all these things.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Just a minute.
Thank you. Hold on.
You know, I'm not
Hold on.
used to this. You know,
it's not
you
your
guys,
turn now. I have to.
No, just want to say something. An interjection, please. If you don't allow me a minute.
No. If you want to do an interjection, you ask me and then you wait for.
I've asked. You know, I did ask you. Yes, granted.
Go ahead. If it's not going to take 1 minute.
No, I'm not taking time. So anyway, right is now you said your friends on the calendar, right? I'm not gonna argue that, you know, but first of all, we have to. Nobody knows being on a calendar what that means. Is it? Are we talking about full sovereignty? Is a big question mark. Okay, I don't know how many people you've asked, you know, for their opinion on that. Now, another thing, another angle I'm looking at it is this. Okay, if Biafra being on a calendar might as well mean it's like a kind of a reconfiguration of the African continent, because there's a saying, you know, that in Biafra, Africa died. So if Biafra is to be on a calendar for real, I deduce from that the whole of Africa is going to be affected, the African continent. So that might, you know, for Africa to be truly free. Are you with me? and I mean this seriously. So, I mean, when you say it is on the calendar, this kind of statements we make,
Okay, I thought you were asking a question. If you have asked a question, let's move.
well, addition, not really a question, So,
now, if you're going to make a contribution, wait for your time now. That's somebody before you.
No, but I may not be talking about that when it's my turn. Anyway, so go ahead.
No, the thing is, when something is on the calendar, it means it's already written. Because when you say something is on the calendar, maybe we are in the month of May. The calendar till the end of. Okay, no, I know. You see, it's already on the calendar. Why I'm saying it is that if the idea, because there must be behind every action there's a thought. If the idea of frustrating and they kind of doing all this nyama nyama, all this rubbish is in the end, people will say this Biafra. No, it's a lie. It's a lie.
Okay,
Biafra is on the calendar. It's realizable. That's what I'm saying.
Let's move on. Mr. Tony, so last week the Nigerian army said since inception they've been able to resettle 300,000 Boko Haram repentant terrorists and reabsorb them into the society. My question be to you is, those villages that they ransacked, those families that they killed, those people who are still living in IDP camps, somebody is making a lot of disturbance with this thing. Those communities that they ransacked, what has the government done for those families who are still living in IDPs whose children are not going to school? Since they've been able to take government money to buy government clothes, give those members of that Boko Haram and the terrorists clothes, shoes, and money and housing, and now they are building a Ruga of how many thousands kilometers in Plateau State to build housing and to put electricity and pipe-borne water and gated city for the Ruga people who will be living in that place. Do you think that we are getting to the end of this issue, or we're just beginning it? Yeah, so while you're answering that, also put in your answer that issue of the Nnamdi Kanu and vis-a-vis why they are trying him, why all these people are not being tried. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, let me talk about the Ruga thing and the Boko Haram repentant, quote unquote, people that are now being rehabilitated. I think that first, I am glad that the Nnamdi Kanu case, is having some traction. I'm glad that he has some more senior advocates, coming to advocate for him. So all those issues that have kind of stalled the trial, it seems, have been put to rest. My feeling really is, if you look at the way Igbo people say, "Amen, what a kind of yes." So I think that if the government is pursuing a policy of carrot and stick, I think since 2015, I don't know what the offense, if Nnamdi Kanu is found guilty, would have been. But I think to hold someone for since 2015, that's 10 years, right? Is that correct?
Yes, 10 years.
Yes. And the Constitution assumes that, and in the light of what CM has said, and what Ike has said, which I take 100%, I think we may wish to take the Yaradua example and see how, after spending a lot of resources trying to deal with the Niger Delta crisis that you had, enormous resources was pumped into it. And then we had the president who came and looked at the situation and said, listen, we've tried this way, it has failed, we can't continue to dissipate our resources, losing people, our men, diverting energies and competencies that would have concentrated in building up the nation in something that we can sit down on the table and settle. And he dealt with that issue. There's relative peace in Niger Delta. So I think that the government, I agree with Ike that, you just one stroke, the president can solve this problem. He can solve it, and it will be a positive, implications will be positive for the current security situation in the Southeast. We can't be fighting wars on so many fronts. We can't. We don't have the resources. Our military is worn out. It is a room. I feel that some people are encouraging all these things because it's a room for them to make money. We have had some generals being tried for monies that they couldn't account for, which are supposed to be directed to fight the war against terrorism. So I think with the state of the nation, all these things are distractions. Let Nnamdi Kanu go. He haven't spoken for. Let him go. It's going to be a win-win for Nigeria and for the Southeast, for security in the Southeast, and so on. And whatever remains, we can talk it over, just as Yaradua did in Niger Delta. He sent them abroad. They opened up, like you're saying, that doing with the Boko Haram. They did it with my people in the Niger Delta. Send them abroad, gave scholarships, gave contracts, and so on. Listen, we can deal with this issue in the greater interest. The people killed, are they going to come back? No. My dad was killed. My town was destroyed. What did Nigeria government do? Nothing. They didn't do nothing. They did nothing, absolutely nothing up to this day. Some people even have refused to apologize. So, but we have to learn from our past. If we want this country to move forward, there are issues that we just deal. Things that we know that with presidential fiat, you can end. Why do you want to waste resources? Why? What's the problem? Why do you want to waste time and waste resources and waste your energy on something that is nothing? A man has said something. What does it mean? You can deal with that. Even those who kill people, they leave them. They let them go. Who want kill, destroy societies, kill people, rape women, and so on and so forth, you forgive them. So in like manner, if you are pursuing the same way you have dealt with A, you deal with B, that's justice. So that's what I think should happen. That's what I'm praying for to happen, so that we can put this case to rest. Okay. That's the way I look at it. And then okay, let me stop there. So
thank you, Tony. Let me move to Mr. Oti. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Okay. Right. I look at the trial, the whole thing, in a very broad perspective. That's to say that really what goes on in courts does not interest me so much. Now, first of all, ask myself, and this is a question really anybody should ask, oneself. A country that is facing, the huge problems we know about insecurity and all this. Why should this, the government have the time and the resources to be pursuing what they call terrorism trial, holding somebody, they broke all manner of laws to bring to its jurisdiction. Now, terrorism trial, they call it. Why real terrorists, that have actually killed people and displacing people, are free. None of them none has really been tried. Real terrorists. Okay, so now, and what is the explanation? For me, it could be, three things, or either of them. Is there a continuation of the war that hasn't ended, the war against the Igbos? Okay, or it could mean that this government is mindless. They're actually teleguided. They don't have control. They don't know what they're doing. They're not in control. Another thing could be, okay, somebody has also alluded to that. Maybe they're trying to, a kind of an example, set an example, and then to see that no one ever raises his head against the parapet, to demand self-determination or all that. So either any of these three reasons, or a combination of them, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't see what benefit it brings. It does not bring security to the southeast or to the country. So what is the point? So that's why I look at it. So it does not. It's quite boring. It's unfortunate that someone is suffering unnecessarily, and a country that should be making every effort to kind of to pacify every part of at least some part of the country. None of that, and then holding a trial, spending the money, the resources they don't have in security, the whole machinery of so it's unbelievable. There's nothing I can say or add to it.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Thank you so much. It doesn't make sense. In fact, I'm also trying to make sense out of the nonsense. But Mr. Jagun, you have followed it, I guess, also, and want to be your own view of what is going on. Because one of the things I find more worrisome is the fact that you are able to announce to Nigerian people that you have, since inception of the the approach you are using with the Boko Haram, you have settled over 300,000. The question a friend of mine asked, if they say they have settled over 300,000, how many were they in the first place? So, are we going to continuously see this approach? The governor of Borno State was saying that it's only a question of time. If nothing is done, they will overrun Borno State. Half of Niger State have been taken over and they are collecting tax. Katsina State, Taraba, Zamfara, part of Sokoto. Part of Kwara. When shall the government stand up and know that Nnamdi Kanu is not their problem, but the problem is where they are paying less attention to and putting maximum attention to the Thank you.
Well, you see, again, these are, I'm not like most people on the panel. I must admit, I'm just not. And when I look at these scenarios that go in Nigeria, I don't know why it's not clear that we don't really realize that we don't have a country. That's not a country. That's a wild state full of wild people making wild comments all the time.
So what do we do?
No, my brother. There's no. That's why I mentioned the AES group. I mentioned them because they're looking for clarity in their land. They're looking for justice in their land. They're understanding exactly who their enemy is, and they're not trying to be confused. Unfortunately, we in Nigeria, we love to be confused. We love living in confusion. We don't like understanding what tomorrow is going to bring to us. The pain that we're suffering under is not sufficient for us. We need to feel more pain. It's a disgraceful country full of disgraceful people, cowards. Cowards. That's what I see as Nigerians. We're cowardice people, full of mouth, talking shite the whole time. You see, if Nigerians really wanted to do something in that country, and I say Nigerians, I'm not talking about the government, because we know the place is upside down. Just in the south, I keep saying this because even the common south, most of us are southerners here. Most of us, we don't get on, we don't like each other for one reason or the other. Stupid reasons, as far as I'm concerned. For us to create a list of what we want the government, this hasn't been done. For us, not the government, us, people, to create a list of what we agree upon that we need the government to face. And if the government doesn't deal with that within the first 2 years, got urgent things, then we have to look to see how we're going to remove the government. You understand? We're not collective like that. We're divisive people. We always look to see how we can cut each other down. We're always looking to see how insulted I am. You insulted me. And behave like, please let me land. Please let me land.
Respond to the specific question.
This is my answer. I didn't cut you.
to
I
answer,
didn't cut
please.
this OT guy.
Let him
And
answer whichever way he likes.
most of the time when I listen to OT, I find it very difficult to understand what the hell you're saying. But
Okay,
let's not
no,
go
leave
there.
OT now. You go ahead and
And
answer.
he touched me. Why wouldn't I touch him back?
Please,
Allow me, Joe.
please.
What I'm trying to put to everyone is that we are not going, as a Nigerian people, we may discuss Nnamdi Kanu and see his pluses or his minuses, but they fall into insignificance given the country that we're in. We're in a country that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And I don't always understand how people are making sense out of things that don't make sense. I'm trying to listen to where there's an angle of a solution or a glimmer of light or a glimmer of hope. And within the Nigerian context, I can't see it, bruh. And I'm begging to see it. I want to see the hope. I can't see it. Just as you wrote down, just as you underlined, with the marauding of the Fulani, I don't even like to call it that name, of the murderous groups in Nigeria. I don't want to give it the ethnic title, even though I can, and possibly I should. I don't know. But I don't want to go down that road in case we find unnecessary fight. There are things going in Nigeria that are happening with impunity every single day. But us as a people, we can't come together and agree that this thing is wrong. What we will do instead is start calling each other's ethnicity. That's what we will do. And start breaking each other down. That's what we do. For us, between east, west, south of that Nigeria that we call Nigeria, where at least within us, there is some comparable understanding that education is important, respect is important. These things are important. For us to start to create something within the people, to say as a people, we don't want this, we don't want this, we don't want this. What we do want is X, Y, Z, and W. That's what we do want. And put that to the government. We comment that we don't do. So by the time we have this sign and that law and this law being, none of it means anything. Because at the end of the day, whatever law is written in that Nigeria, there is somebody that would escape that law easily, as though it doesn't matter. It would only pertain to those they want to suffer. That's what the law is for. The law is not for everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My only concern, and I'm coming to you over here, is that this don't seem to look. They don't seem to looking. They're not. We're not. The government is not even focusing on the direction where the problem is. They're rather focusing on something else that will not solve the problem. Because if you look at a nation where about 5 states have been occupied by different terrorist organizations, and you're looking at a man who does not have a soldier or have a group behind him that can do as much damage as the other people, and every day you are putting the cost of taking Nnamdi Kanu to court every day, according to the DSS, about 500 million, every day. That is where you feel you should expand. Yes, that's what they said. They said it costs about 500 million every day for them to move
5 million.
500.
500.
No, they didn't say 5 million. It's either 500 or 50 million. I can't remember exactly now, but it's between the 50 or 500.
It should be 50, not 500. I mean,
yeah, because they said they have to rent, or rather, they bring they bring men from all around. They bring armor tanks. They bring all this and bring all that and bring close streets, close that. So whatever be the case,
that's business, isn't it?
Of course, it's business. At the end of the day, those in command and control will have some of the money. Is it going to Nnamdi Kanu? It's not going to him. It's going to their pockets. So they want to keep doing that. And the DSS have constantly still held him in the DSS custody for 10 years now, or for more than 10 years running now. Or rather, yes, for about 7 years, they've held him in DSS custody. Do you think that is the right thing to do? And how do you think we can resolve this? Will the court be able to give us, even though the judge Omotosho seems to be going in the right direction so far, because at least to my mind, he has been fair enough. But people say the judge is Wike's very good friend, so that nothing is going to come out of it apart from what Wike will eventually write. And we know that Wike doesn't like Nnamdi Kanu at all. But what we are looking for is peace. So how do you think that peace can come to Nigeria? Ovie?
The peace is in the workshop, not business. As we call that 50 million, 500 million. It's not business. It's called workshop. Now here they work, now they job. So people where they carry on back and forth go job. So that's what that's what it means. Now, on a more serious note, you started this segment of the question by alluding to VDM distraction. Right? How many people know? How many of us know that same day we tried it happen, the current Attorney General of the Federation, Fatai Fagbemi, or what did they call him?
Yes.
Come out and say that that the media should stop parading fake news regarding Simon Ekpa. That they are not making any move regarding repatriation.
Yes.
Shout out to Kulata. Kulata always found every opportunity to want to get in my skin.
And I was going to bring that in because I was shocked because I said it on this program, but some of the people were attacking me that Nigeria is not making any move. That's what the newspaper in Finland, wrote, that there's no such demand to repatriate him. Nothing. The Finland government is only doing what they're doing for themselves, for their own people. Just to ensure that their citizen Simon Ekpa is not in whatever he's been accused of. But you see, I'm coming, CM. They have a recruitment of young men who are doing all kinds of posting in Nigeria. They create new fronts. They create sites. They create new websites and keep writing all kinds of stories that don't make any sense. You can't verify it, and when you try to trace it, you find how old those publications have been. You see that they are just newly created. So I think it's not working, but maybe for Nigeria it's working. Yes, sorry, I'm not cutting you. CM, what do you want to add before we continue?
Yeah, it's yes, what I wanted to add was there are things you shouldn't pay attention to. If you notice, it was recently I realized it. Any day we on air, whether Saturday or Sunday, some group of people that helped Tinubu to distribute heroin in Chicago, all of them will be there with different names. All they are just talking is rubbish. Instead of them to come to the panel and take a seat and show their face and do, they will just be there talking nonsense because they felt that anything you say, because Tinubu, they are paid. They were, and most of them are in US, you should know. So they're all there, those that help Tinubu to distribute heroin, they are still in US. So all they do is go to different platforms. Even if some people are telling you that Nigerian economy is crumbling, they will be telling you that Tinubu went to Saudi Arabia and then got a $500 billion deal and people are benefiting. That is what you read here. That's what you come here and see. So these are people that help Tinubu to distribute heroin. I know, we know. So don't worry. AI can tell you anything, somebody's character and even anything. So don't bother about them. Don't listen to them. They are the people generating this fake news everywhere. Everything cannot be heroin.
Okay, KJ, sorry, permit me. Jagun, hello. I hope you're okay.
Thank you.
Have you been?
I'm well, but let's not. Thank you.
It's good to see you again. So.
Yes.
Okay. I've not spoken for some time now.
My brother, let's not take up the air for our bromance. So
no. It's just and I don't necessarily antagonize people.
I thank you very much for your concern.
I agree with you. But I don't use offensive language, and I don't say something and then start apologizing or regretting. It's not my
sure.
It's okay. You're welcome.
I just wanted to add something, if I might. KJ, is it real? I don't know if it's real. I beg your pardon. I don't know if it's real that Nigeria has paid off its debt. I heard it twice now.
It's not true.
Okay. Because I was wondering how it's happened.
Those keyboard warriors that are writing that. Even in fact, the organization came out to say, "Look, this is our book." They showed their book. Hey, this is
I see. So, okay.
We don't know where it's coming from.
I've heard it twice, and I thought, no, this is impossible. But
How possible is that? When we just borrowed from
Abi?
IMF.
Okay,
Yes,
I just wanted to find out. Sorry.
we just borrowed last week. How can they pay the debt? We just borrowed last All right, we are waiting for you.
You are waiting for me.
KJ, I think
You are waiting for me.
Yes.
KJ, I think what the
Go ahead, Tony.
the loan that the IMF loan that they're talking about, has to do with the loan that was given for the COVID and something else. It's not the main or the various loans that you have borrowed. That's not what this is all about.
Well, Mr. Kulata, if you are able, you can come and tell us how you paid it, because other agencies, international reputed agencies, are saying they didn't pay anything. So, but since you are working for the government, you can let us know, because you seem to have an inside information of how these loans were paid. By the way, there's other topic we didn't want to discuss because we don't have enough information on it. But Nigeria have bought a new presidential jet that is lying right now, waiting in South Africa to be remodeled.
Wow.
KJ.
So, yes.
If I ask you now, anybody, what was my point? Waiting, I talk.
That's why I asked you to please.
You know, at times when you are returning the same energy, they go say you are disrespectful or the smoky go, right? You turn back, tell me that you are waiting for me. And I wait for you to take turn by turn. Then you turn back and say you are waiting for me, right? I just keep quiet. Everybody talk, I no respond. It's not because I agree or disagree. But it reach my turn. They even use and flirt. Do love, friend, but what am I trying to say here?
It is back on your ball now, please. It's a discussion now. It's a discussion, please. We are having a discussion, a conversation. It's not always going to be one person alone. We can come together and talk about it, and then still give you.
You are not even listening. You're not listening.
All right,
you're not listening
now. Okay, I'm listening.
I've not even finished one sentence. I didn't. You took it from there, you pass it on to CM, they pass it on. They just what I'm just trying to say, son. If I return the same energy, just hold on now. Like let's see. We are all Nigerians. We are trying to find a solution to our problem.
Mentally, you have the floor.
I'm not Nigerian.
I mean, the only why I decided to take it this way, because our people say I got my lizard. That lizard will get ready. Before on top 3, nobody praise I go praise himself. I have noticed for the past 3 weeks, anytime I come, when it reach my tongue, as soon as I just mention one word, everybody will call remember and say, like y'all know all this shit. Wait till one when I don't use and talk. It's disrespectful. All right. Let's continue. Let's continue. So I never the question where you ask, I never even start to the answer now. Now you just take it over. Right? So CM, nobody say I did fear. I'm using the opportunity to call Kulata out, because every chance when he gets, he won't get into my skin. Oh, you get someone like Faron, because I was the only one and the first person to come out to say, come, this is bullshit. Nowhere in Nigerian history where the whole media, both print, everywhere, carried the same news under 1 hour. It doesn't happen. I come out that day, they shout. People thought I was mad. Say, the Nigerian government have no clue. Say they arrest Ekpa. They have no clue. They just use that as a form of distraction to play it on Mumu. And that was my video. See there. Everybody like, what is this guy talking about? I analyze now how the news they start, how they take get like one by one. I say this is Bonkom. There's more to Ekpa, and he's dealing with other nationals than what did they happen for Nigeria. They don't. So the fact they make him out and say, come, they have no clue. So the media should stop parading fake news, aka AI news. Plenty pass. Now, because I started with that because based on how you started the conversation, which is the VDM, right? So all these things they happen simultaneously, but nobody know. Everybody was clinching on the VDM. Now, politically speaking, on Nnamdi Kanu and Tinubu, I mean, if I want to put myself in his shoe as a president with the kind of whatever country that we have today. He came in to what? Give us a government of national unity. He's trying to unite the country and all that kind of thing. So that's a responsibility he has to maintain. Now, how is he doing that? I talked on last week when you asked me the same question. I said, classifying Nnamdi Kanu as a national security risk, there is a bigger picture to that. That means releasing him, one, has to do with that national consensus, or the majority of the elite have to say, okay, enough is enough. So Tinubu, what he's doing right now is playing to those constituencies who see oil Nnamdi Kanu as that national security, whatever it means to them. He is trying to appeal to them. On the other hand, again, it seems as it's an injustice, just being in detention without any trials, without, a section of the country, consequences see it like that, and that's what it is. So him going through with the trial is also to appeal to us, say, yes, I am for that, what I believe, that national unity. But at the same time, in continuing the trial is also to send a message to those people that believe that they have a tendency of separatists, that we are serious about we going against that sentiment. Now, whether is the way to go about it, but I'm looking at it politically, the man who is looking for power. So he has to do whatever he can to appeal to every quarter that has interest in it, in order for not only for him to get political capital. Without necessarily to is going to release him, I don't know, I can't say. Right? But him starting the trial bring a lot of interest back into the conversation. How the trial will go will determine how those interests, whether be for him or we alienate themselves. That's now what I say about the trial so far regarding what Tinubu I think is trying to do. Because his visit, the trial is going on at the same time. His chieftaincy tied to in Anambra, all those festivities, all is just playing to the 25% on Islamic State. If this will bring it, I don't know, but I think if not total, but element of that is at play.
All right.
KJ, can I just chip in something? Let me just chip in something quickly. No matter what Nnamdi Kanu has done, no matter what offense he has committed, you see, fair is fair. We're looking at the optics here. Professor Akitoye and some other people, there was a woman who went and declared that the Yorubas declared the Republic of Oduduwa. And I think they held her. I don't know if she's been released. We have had, there's nothing that Nnamdi Kanu has done. I'm not his fan. There's nothing that he has done that doesn't have a precedence in Nigeria. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So fair is fair. That's the point I'm making. If you are looking at optics and you are looking at, you don't have the resources, you don't have the men to fight this war, you are saddled with a lot of problems. Nnamdi Kanu is the least of the problems that you have. You should do away with it. It shouldn't take 10 years. And the easiest way to do this thing is, okay, whatever it is, go. It will even be a plus for him, for his political whatever career, whatever he's pursuing. But the point is that you would have solved the problem if Nnamdi Kanu is the problem in the East. If he's the problem that is causing the insecurity in the East, release him and let us see. If he is, it solves the problem. So it's a plus. So what's all this nonsense that we are talking about, wasting time, wasting money, it's, for me, it's absolutely nonsense. All this talk about holding a man and so on and so forth for whatever and saying this or saying that is wrong. After all, those who fought Biafran War, you forgave them. Did he fight Biafran War? What has he done? Let them leave the man and let him go.
So it comes to the same thing. It makes no sense.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Yes,
to add to that space, he will be in court in June, right? Because of a new lawyer he get now. So the lawyer has gone to get the records, appeal to court, so they will be in court in June. So you're talking about distraction, right? So maybe they will set out at the same time when I'm the one who won't appear for court or whatever, but I don't know. Just so you know now, before you know, the whole media will kind of, they want to try to repatriate him. They have no clue. It has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with them.
We said it here. We said it here, but they say we are fake news. They say we don't like government. But as it is now, their own Attorney General have come out to say they have no hand in it. They are not sending any delegation. Those who are accusing Bianco Ono of going to Finland to go and put a case, you see that all that is just
So by
nonsense
next
that
month,
no
See,
basics,
they'll
no,
take us.
you know.
see, it's like, please let me underline this, even if you haven't had anything from me. The essence of all this rigmarole, whether with Ekpa or Simon Ekpa or Nnamdi Kanu, is to inject fear, scaremongers, to scare people. Don't talk.
Yeah.
All these things are nonsense. Biafra will come up. Biafra it has been written in heaven. The only thing is you delay it. Nobody can stop it.
Can I
Biafra will
ask you?
emerge. Yes,
PM,
ask me. Yes, ask me.
thank you. You know, when you were speaking about your last iteration, you began speaking about Imegwalu. I know I've pronounced his name badly. Forgive me. And you called him a Biafran. When why didn't you call him an Igbo man? You see, there's a confusion. You don't seem to, people of the East who mention Biafra, I don't think you guys appreciate the impact of that word. Apart from the fact that me as an African, I don't believe it's an African term. I believe it's Al-Mafra, which is Portuguese. And I believe that just like Nigeria is a cursed word, if you like, Biafra is another cursed word that people are putting on their head. And I'm wondering, why would an Igbo man call another Igbo man a Biafran?
Okay.
What is the word Biafra is such wait, Joe, because I have to put this to you. I'm wondering what is the sense of ill pride in saying Igbo? Because it's fair to, I think it's more factual. Apart from one or two crazy people who are not Igbo, who will call themselves Biafran, there are I don't want to use the word minority, but I think it may be apt in this time. They are a direct minority. The majority of those who are fighting this Biafra thing are Igbo. And I don't know why people can't come out and say Igbo. Because by the time you say Biafra, you're talking about a different country, and you have confused everyone in that nation, including yourselves. In my estimation.
Siam, can I respond in a sentence? Siam, because you're gonna go into a history lesson. Let me just respond in a sentence, okay? Jargon. The answer to the question is this: because millions died for and under a Biafran flag. Okay,
indeed.
So that's right. So so people, that's
what you're saying, which is I accept what you're saying, but what you're saying that it's more emotional than anything else, because it's not a one people, it's not a geographical state. There is no language called Biafra. So what you're telling me is that emotionally, which I can understand, emotionally you are going with this thing and you are pushing it, and the disturbance that this emotion is causing, it doesn't really matter.
Remember, hold on, listen. Hold on. You know what I spoke on this subject? Remember what I said? I said, first of all, when CM said is on the calendar, I said, okay. I said, that I mean, no matter how how convinced, how committed, how passionate he's about the whole thing, well, we don't know what being on the calendar means. For one thing, as a question, are we talking about full sovereignty, right? And then if we're having that discussion, you have to ask the people that are going to be, the popular sovereigns, people that are going to be living under this new nation. I would mean. You've not asked them. They have to make the decision. I would mean. So that's,
let me just say this, Brother Odyssey, let me just, I don't really care or mind what, sorry everybody panel. I don't care or mind what, if someone can escape that crazy place called Nigeria, I salute them. You understand? To be honest. However, whatever they call their enclave, it doesn't really matter to me. But I believe that there are certain curses that have been laid down in that place called Nigeria. Otherwise, it would have been a different state altogether. And I believe that the word Biafra is another curse. And I believe that.
Well, I don't know.
I believe, as I say, I believe. All I'm now putting to you is that. Is Biafra, given the concept that it is it Pan-Africanist or is it minus Pan-Africanism?
Well,
See, listen. Wait. Excuse me.
People died.
You see,
People died millions. Okay, so and it means
you see,
something to them. And really, I
you
mean,
see,
it's not something we can begin to argue. If we're talking
you see,
about a nationhood, the practicality of it, then we can have deal with the questions that you've raised. We haven't come to that, quite frankly. It's just, I mean, like the territory, geography, the language, and all that.
No, I'll put that to you. That there is no, just like there's no, that Nigeria was a name given to us by our colonial fathers. Biafra is a name taken up by a mispronunciation, a misspelling of the Portuguese who coined a certain area in Cameroon. Firstly, before it ever coming to Nigeria.
That was the name. It had a currency, it had a flag, it had it had.
Yeah, but it wasn't ours. It wasn't African. It was not African.
Excuse me. Listen. Excuse me. Let us get this clear. People decide what is good for themselves. You don't need to consult.
I don't take that away from you.
Yes, exactly. You don't need to consult anybody about it. You don't need the approval of anybody. People, if you agree to do something for yourself, so be it. The Western world, they do. I know. The Western world, when they want to do anything that is of their own, they do it. It is left for you to accept it or go on with it. Biafra as an idea is inconquerable. It may not be, if it's not in my lifetime, definitely. That's why I say it's on the calendar. All this thing Nigeria is doing is just shenanigans to slow it down, to discourage. Let me just say it. To discourage, to scare people. Till today, almost every no. If you go to the southeast and see the militarization, it's just to scare people so that we don't fly the flag, do anything. It's only in Nigeria that Biafra IPOB was declared a terrorist group. All over the world, every May 30th, thank God we will be here. Biafrans come out every part of the world. The Western world is going.
Remembrance.
So excuse me. So exactly. So it's only so the idea I'm just telling you people now is just to scare people in the end. They say, "Hey, why are you talking about?" But it's just like a small, a small child. You tell a small child that, "Hey, if you come out at night, something will carry you." So this type of thing they tell you when you are small, but it's not gonna work. Why it's not gonna work is that this generation they were even annoyed that why didn't our forefathers, when they're down tools, do you know why Biafra was abruptly interrupted in 1970? Let me tell you this, Jago. If you are fighting with me as an adult and you are killing me, that's fair enough because you overpower me. As you are killing me the adult, you spare the children, that's fair enough. But the moment you leave me, or you are even buying me, you decide to starve over 1 million children. That was when Biafran soldiers, the elders, met. Obasanjo knew the place at Amich in Anambra State. They said, we are fighting this for our children. Before our very eyes, our newborn babies are dying in their millions, thousands. Why should we continue? Who do we tell this story? That was how that Biafra issue was sort of adjoined. Call it adjournment. If not, that's why they say Biafra Kwashiorkor. You must have the name Kwashiorkor. It came to World Dictionary during Biafran era. Kwashiorkor means malnutrition, lack of protein.
As well.
Yes, and so they carried it. So it was because of that our people now said, look, if we continue fighting, yes, we will be killing some Nigerians, they will be killing us. But look at the kids that are 2-3 years, which we hope that in the next 10 years, they should be able to take off. So when the kids are dying, you look back. As a father, Jagu, you don't want to bury your children. It's your children that will bury you. It's an African tradition. Yes. So that was how it happened. So now, this generation you are seeing, most of them are below 30 or 40. So which means they were born after 1975. So what they are asking, because they've read books, somebody like me, I had lists that I sent to people. I said, even if you don't want to read, I was telling Ike the other day, even if you don't want to read Ike, Make sure your grandchildren had the titles. Even if you don't buy, they know their names. One day you will meet them in their PDF or pirated form. Read it and see. The day you will cry for Biafra is a book written by a white man, said Obram Wolf. He said, in Biafra, Britain's shame, the shame of Britain. When you read it, you must cry. You just close the book and start to shed tears. So because
Let
of
me,
that,
let
and
me, I don't really. Wait, Ejo, wait, calm down. KJ, forgive me for prolonging this conversation. I don't know where you want to take us. However, everything you said, CM, I appreciate. Don't get me wrong, please. I as a somebody of age and somebody of good reading, where Nigeria is concerned, especially where the Biafra War is concerned, I lived. When this war was going on, I was in Sapele, I was seeing aircraft bombing the place. I was there. Are you with me? What I am saying, my brother, is look, this thing is very emotional, but it can't be emotion that is going to bring us to the point of any common sense. Emotion is not going to do it. We have to raise ourselves above the emotion. If we don't, this thing is just going to be with us, paining us.
Do you know, listen, if we are dealing with the Europeans at this stage, they will call a referendum for these people. They will say, this Biafra, to end it, call it. That's why Nnamdi Kanu is saying, I don't want anything. It's Nnamdi Kanu, they were asking him in international media. He said, we've gone to war for this Biafra, and look at what we lost. It will be stupid for us to go to war again. That's why we want referendum, so that we quietly go.
You know, my brother, it's not even quietly, it's noisily. No, my brother, I agree. You see, the thing is, I wish that there was a referendum for real, because
that is what we want.
Okay.
No, I'm with you. At least then, with a referendum, one, we would know who is Biafran and who is not. Because right now, the word is just being spilled out there, and I don't know what it means. I don't know who is Biafran. You know, people from Edo State, Delta, Ijos, Cross River, what do they call that? The other place where the Calabaza. I don't, are all these people Biafran as well? Because once we find out that they vote differently from our own Igbo.
No, listen, let me tell you this. Please, define out 10 seconds. Please, define out 10 seconds. Oh, God, okay.
Hold on, CM. This week that we are entering, we are going to be discussing, in fact, this month, we are going to be dealing with the issue of Biafra. So you go take up your files, take up your questions, take up whatever you need to take. I have a personal story of my own told to me by my dad. And as you guys are saying this, everything he has said to me concerning Biafra is coming back to me, and I don't want to get emotional about it. I still remember how people of my community were put in the dispensary and killed. So let's not go there at all. I still remember of a colonel, a relative of mine, who told me a story of what happened to them in Uzuakoli railway station. How more than 200 of them lost their life, and they have to lie between dead bodies for days, not to move, because the Nigerian army camped there. So for 3 days, they were between the bodies of people. Let's not go there. You guys don't know what the Igbos went through. But you see, it's not all about emotion. But emotion also can be dealt with through therapy by saying to these people, you know what was done by the federal troop was wrong. And this, we need to apologize. If the Igbos on their leadership failed to have been able to take into account the right thing to be done and they took a wrong step, they also have to apologize. Unfortunately, that apology have waited for too long. Those who are the partakers and the leaders of the Biafran side are no longer here. That is why there's nobody, whether you are speaking Igbo or not, who will take Philip Effiong. If you hear the name Philip Effiong, you will stand, upright and salute the name, because our fathers told us how the man stood gallantly. He wasn't Igbo till the end. And the compassionate statement which he made, I still have the one that my dad left behind about how the man spoke on his handing over. So these are things that are very emotional for us. When people throw around these things, you don't know how many people we lost. You don't know. So some of us, our parents never recovered from that war. They never recovered till they went to be in their graves. Some of our uncles were half mad until they died. Some of them continued smoking Indian hemp until they died.
I mean, there's no point going on and on. See,
No. I just want Jago to know that when
you don't want to remember it.
we're not discussing it from the we're not discussing it from the point of what we read in the books. We're discussing the point of people who took part, who were our relatives. And sometimes even as we're growing up, when we come for holidays, that's only the stories they tell us. That's all they know. In fact, my mom took me to the bush. I told you many times to show us the leaves they were eating. Leaves. They were using to make soup. They lived in the forest for over 3 years.
See, the thing is, I know as the year goes by, so many twists and turns, people will be twisting everything also. But the real thing is, assuming Nigeria, or let me say the way it is, conduct a referendum. Allow Ndibo to go. No, hold on, I'm coming. Let them go. Because every day, I've heard people say that Plateau State, they want to include Plateau State. Where? I read people say, even then they claim, say, Kwara State is part of Biafra. Where? No, hold on, I'm coming. Because people will always take something and twist it. Look at Simon Ekpa, who is in Finland.
Let him land, Oti, let him land now.
Oti, hold on. And a newspaper in Nigeria, Punch, and they say the editor, I studied mass communication, I had BAc, BA, the degree. You are writing Ekpa is being extradited. Anything extradition, if the Attorney General is not aware, it cannot take place. The way you confirm is you meet Attorney General. He said they are not doing anything like that. Where did they get the headline? Because they want to talk about that. Anything Biafra, they want to scare people so that people will say, hey, don't talk. It's a lie. Biafra, it is emboldened. Even this generation, they are more daring and audacious. It is either they get it. He said if our forefathers have done what they should have done, we won't be suffering in Nigeria. That now they don't want to hand it over to their children. And as far as I know, Nigeria is a country that depends on whatever crude oil and gas. It's in outside the Igbo land. Why can't they allow the Igbo to go? Of what use are the Igbo to Nigeria? Let us go. That's just what I'm saying. You can't force a unity on a people. We want.
Let me just say this, my brother. Let me say this if I can. You see, the frustration, the emotion, the fact that we are a country that is no country, the fact that we're in this state, who, as I said, whoever can escape, not just by jackpotting, but by taking an enclave of their land and escaping Nigeria, I will salute them, whatever they call their state. The thing is, however, is the emotion balancing what it is that we still have to do. Because, as bad as things get, they can still get worse. This planet that we're on, it's not a joke. Wait, Ejo, please wait. I need for us to balance or try to balance what it is that we have before us. As bad as things are with anybody, health-wise or material-wise, or it doesn't matter. They can still get worse in this planet Earth that we're in. So it's not to say that when Biafra comes, as you are putting it, that it's all going to be hunky-dory or from there.
Listen, Jago.
Okay, no,
excuse me. No. Hold on. No, it's important I make this. It's important I make this. Hold on. No, please. If it's a decision of CM, Jago, all that you are saying will be indisputable. Biafra, when they get out and go and suffer, that is when the world will know these are the problem. Nigeria will enjoy themselves. That is just the issue. Nigerians will enjoy. After all, Yoruba and Fulani can collaborate. Hausa, Iberom, all these people. Hold on.
Okay.
They become a country. Allow people to go and perish. We know we will perish. We want to go. Simple.
KJ, let me say this, I beg.
Yeah.
KJ, listen,
Go ahead.
in the history book, Biafra did it. The idea Biafra no it doesn't exist is I don't understand. In the history book, anywhere you go, anywhere in the world, you go look at the history book. The story of that Nigeria, the West African science will not complete without the Biafran state. It existed for 3 years. 2, we are emotional animal, human being. Every decision we make is born out of emotion.
Yes.
Every one of it. It don't have nobody have to agree with it. It doesn't have to be popular. But as a human being, everything we do is from the prism of
Much more
emotion.
important than your intelligence. By the way, so Jago, let's see. I know what I'm saying. No, yes, emotions, because you may have you may do your calculation and your rationality without the emotion. I mean that we galvanize, move you. You're not going to do anything. So you can't.
No. You misunderstand me, and it's a shame because we're all emotional beings. We're human. We're human. Without the emotion is part of intelligence.
Oh, yeah,
it's
right.
part of intelligence. However, you see, we're all. Wait.
Okay, guys, we need to go.
No. KJ, the conversation don't start now.
You don't time, but we don't pass our time.
so guys, I'm leaving you now. But Jagan, I will end with this. Now, if what I'm not as emotional as CM is about this, okay? No, but what I can say is this: if Biafra comes, right? How about if it means your own liberation? What would you say?
Well, it's just like you see, you're not really taking in what I'm saying. Listen, you're not taking in what I'm saying. I said, if there's any group of people that can escape the entity called Nigeria, give themselves whatever name they want to give themselves.
Right.
Me personally, I will be the first to salute them for escaping such a hellhole. Wait, listen, I need you to listen. However, whatever enclave, because for me, I look at the amount of enemies that we as Black people have. And wait, please wait. And the amount of enemies that we as Nigerians, particularly, that we have.
Sorry.
And I know that whatever move Nigeria makes, their enemies are going to come out. And they may not show their face, but they will come out.
Listen, and what I'm telling you is this, okay? Life, yes, there's an enemy that is basic to, I mean, it's natural, okay? You can't escape it, all right? Hold on. What I'm telling you is this, okay? So whichever, whichever people, whichever group, whichever entity, enclave that gains their independence and liberation, and I'm telling you that it may also lead to your own liberation from Nigeria or in Nigeria.
Well, you see, the only thing is, the complication there.
No, excuse me. Forget complication. Just say amen to that. And end of story. What are we talking about? I mean,
wait. It's not to say that.
All right, gentlemen.
Wait, give us some time, KJ. Now.
No, okay, we can continue behind the stage. But
Ejo, they can't see behind the scenes, Joe, because the kind of conversation that we have sometimes where people they talk, I know they know what they talk about. I'm about solutions.
This is what we'll do, Jagun. Okay, we'll consult with Rudolph. We'll come on after the first Nandikanu's meeting. We'll come up and then analyze that and see how far we can go so that the discussion can continue. But for right now, we have shot, beyond our time by 30 minutes, and we just have to call it off for now.
I think we go behind. Okay, no more behind the scene.
Yes. So let's meet this week. Please, we will advertise the time so that everybody can tune in. But I want to let you know that the Biafran question is going to be a continuous discussion. As for everything we have discussed here, it is emotional. It also has to do with the life of a people who lost over 5 million people, both women and children. And
I would like those numbers. I would like those numbers because I've heard all kinds of numbers, man.
Yeah. And so you see, hold on. We have enough record. We don't. You see.
No, I don't. I'm saying I don't have the accurate number. I've heard 3 million. I've heard 5 million. I've heard all kind of million. I just want You know?
A million is a large number. A million is a large number.
It's a big number.
Whether it was 1 or 2.
I like Jago's principle that catch it this evening, that any group, by whatever means, you can liberate yourself from Nigeria. I think that's what Jago is saying. In other words, because you know that Nigeria, I mean, is precarious now, the situation. So anyhow, any group that want to liberate themselves or whatever, as long as maybe they mutually agree. I mean, it is. Because to me, Nigeria should have been a case of round table discussion. Then we discuss and they move.
Everybody,
all right.
But nobody wants that.
Nice.
Nobody wants that. We want to put everything under the carpet. Everything. No, it cannot work. Now, at the time,
it can't work like that.
It can't work. Yes. What the point I wanted to make earlier was, wound, when you have an injury, ask any nurse. As painful as it is, if you want the injury to go or the wound, they will open it up. That is called opening the wound. Clean it, and you'll be crying. After opening the wound, then you start to bind it up again. That is how. That is how. Go to the hospitals. That is what nurses do. So Nigeria.
KJ, I thought you don't enjoy this subject too.
That's why I allowed everybody to say, but the program had to come to an end sometime, and at this.
Give us half an hour. Give us half an hour, please.
I don't have that power. I don't have that power. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Oti. Thank you, CM. Thank you, Jagun. It's a pleasure to see you again, and we wish you to recover fast and get yourself back. We'd like to see you here all the time. Thank you, Mr. Tony. As usual, your contributions matter for us, and I'm sure that the people who are following us also enjoy all of your contributions. Thank you, every one of you. You've really been very nice guys today. Thank you, all the people on the keyboard. My very good friend Kulata. I don't know, but he doesn't seem to. He seems to have a problem with it, but it's okay. I mean, you can't like everybody. I thank every one of you, those who have contributed in one way or the other. Bemi, you've been great. Thank you for all being a new member. Thank you for Oriako Tokwe. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you. Thank you, Kulata, again, and Kulata for supporting the channel. We thank you. Even though sometimes I don't, your contributions make me feel that you are one-sided, but it's okay. You are free to choose which way you want to be. And on that faithful note, I want to say we will find time to be on this channel this week after Nnamdi Kanu's court case, and we can also dive more into the reason why the Igbos are so fixated upon the word Biafra and the reason why they want to achieve Biafra in our lifetime. I'm one of those who believe that I will see it with my eyes and I will walk in it, because the other option is not viable. And anyway, let me stop there. Thank you, guys. Thank you, all of you who say Kachineke Mezioku, as you have discussed. And I will want to also hear this young lady who sings to our soul to sing for us as we close. Thank you.
Olisa malugo mkoyene menenua Okudilio nyekelaniyo Chukuna malugo yobiadio cha Agaranya chogo kowe bili Agaranya chogo kowe rienio Owe chuku bezie chuku Nuche chukwa busigi fegemeo Nuche chukwa busia ifegemeo Nifo solo ne asi alibazie Oboye bebe, agaranya muliba. Oboye wuru, agaranya mebi vesolia. Mano agaranya wa, oboye afyozi eni pakwa. Agaranya chogo kowe bili. Agaranya chogo kowe rienyo. Oboye chikubezi olisa. Kodili ma, kodili bebo, kodili wakema, kodili wanima. Naino kwane we beluge beluo. Kodili ma, kodili bebo, kodili kemo, kodili heyo. Ibedwe me wane, nikadie zibohimo.
I have nothing new to say.
People are hungry.
Let them die. It's their fault. Yeah, I'm supporting Tinubu 100%.
You're supporting Tinubu.
100% to deal with Nigerians.
Jeez.
People like you. So that when next election comes, I will now see whether when people bring money, you will vote for them or you will do your conscience.
Bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, that's so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Arise, oh compatriots. Nigeria call obey to serve our fatherland. We love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound